I was like on my way out of town and just totally jammed up and just completely turned around, took like I-5 north instead.
Oh yeah, I did the whole I came the other way, which was go past the 520, right, and then cover yourself as you go down 108th.
Let's see. Okay, those are hot whenever you're ready. We're live.
Sure, hang on.
No viewers.
Hi, Coach.
Hey, Coach, are we in the home or away press box?
We're in the way. I don't see you. Where are you at?
I just walked in. So
Okay.
I'm in the north end of the end, so.
Oh, you're all right. Don't worry. They're going to start the game a couple minutes early, but you'll just jump in when you get here. See you, bye. All right. We up and going?
We are.
No viewers?
No, I realized I didn't put the link on the website for that an hour ago. And Nicole's like, where is it?
Well, folks, welcome to the next edition of Eastlake football here. Well, we're rolling our broadcast here. Welcome to our next edition of Eastlake football. Eastlake against Bellevue tonight. It is a spectacular night out. We've got a wonderful day to play football. Both teams are out of the middle of the field here. If you're starting to join us, Eastlake at this point has got our captains Christopher Brookshire, Jack Org, Hunkins, and Connor Carr. So we got some of our top guys are out here meeting Bellevue at the center field. And tonight's broadcast, we have Coach Brookshire is going to be joining us here as he momentarily makes it from the parking lot to the booth. And it looks like Eastlake has won the toss and will likely defer that. And both sides get ready to get going here. So what we can watch tonight here, if you're watching our broadcast, is that Bellevue runs a traditional, it's called wing T offense, which is really just a formation in the front line where they're misdirecting and trying to run off different tackles, both the right and left side. What that does is it causes the front guys to have to really pay attention to assignments and really look for the football as the interior linemen start to move. Coach Brookshire has just joined us, so give him a couple minutes to warm up. As I just said, the wing T usually causes the interior linemen to do a lot of work tonight, so we'll be looking forward to seeing what we can do to stop that. And then as it relates to Eastlake's offense, I'd like to see us again get back into the ball game where we are moving the down linemen and then getting the ball up in the air and getting to our receivers. So two different strategies you'll see tonight as you watch this game, and I think our team is suited from particularly our lineman standpoint, and our linebackers should be able to maintain this football team.
Well, good evening, Coach. Good to be here, and gotta love officials that are so on top of it. They get the game going early.
Yeah, they were. This is definitely not the same game we had last Friday where we were 10 minutes late. Coach, I was just mentioning the wing T. I know you've coached against this, and defensively, this is a challenging type of offense. But what are some of the strategies to win against that?
That's coaching. From a player standpoint, they're going to be tempted to chase what they think they're seeing, and that's going to happen all night. What that wing T does, it's simplicity perfected. They're going to test the eye discipline of the defenders, and it's going to be a real test for our guys to see if they can stay home and just play where they're supposed to play on the field, trust their teammates to make plays when they have the opportunity to.
Well, that first kickoff there, we got a little a little bit sleepy there, but Connor brings that ball up to about the 23-yard line, so at least not a halfway bad start.
Yeah, tough little hop for him to handle right there, but he takes some lemons and makes them into lemonade. Wolves will start from their own 23. Not bad.
Yeah, I think the thing I'd like to see us do from the defensive side of the ball tonight is really get aggressive on the front. I think I've been with you a long time, and watching you coach against this, I think our 3 interior, 4 interior linemen, they can just make havoc up there. Makes that Bellevue, that counter they do just gets disrupted pretty quick.
Had somebody teach me a long time ago, Jim, where it comes to defensive line and how we want to coach those guys up. It's about penetration, disruption, and getting the ball back.
Yep.
Keep it simple. Fly off the ball, try to disrupt the timing and the rhythm of that Bellevue offense. And yeah, if you can get to that counter before they can even run it, that takes away a big part of that. That's the home run threat. So
let's see how we do on our first offensive drive.
Yeah, Wolves open up with 2 to the right and a pistol. Connor behind center as always.
Going to the air first, and there's a big receiver.
Yeah. Throws a strike to Finn 7, who's off to the races. He's going to get caught from behind, but not before picking up big yardage for the Wolves.
What a great call there, Coach. I mean, way to catch the inside seam, and Finn right through the middle. Let's go to the replay on that.
Yeah, lots of space between the safeties there. Kind of catches it in front of them and then splits them. You're getting a little bit of help downfield, but 35 yards on your first play from scrimmage is a heck of a way to start, and that tough kickoff return, well, forget about that. That's in the rearview mirror now.
Well, that was a well-done job by our offensive line there for sure to give Connor a couple minutes. Boy, what a well-run route by Finn 7.
Pleasantly surprised to see Matthew Fadul in at center, only because I had, from my sources, been told that he might be out sick today, so having the offensive line at full strength or close to full strength is always a plus.
Attaboy, that's a good call right there. That's great to hear about Matthew, and I'm sure that's because of Grandpa Fadul down in Florida. I'm hoping he's watching this game again. Shout out to our Florida fans, and that was a good job on Connor here to call that, jump that offside.
Yeah, 5 the freeway, we'll take it, and do notice that the Wolves do have one new piece on that front 5, and that is at the right guard position. It looks like that's Steele that's subbing in tonight for a sick Julian Meyer. Hope you get well soon, Julian. We miss you. But we'll see what the Wolves can do with this 1st and 5 here.
Trips to the right side here. Let's see if we can do something with that. Oh, good job, Connor. Oops.
Connor draws the defense to him, then flips it out to Hunkins on what looked like a little bit of a screen-type play. George, as usual, a whole heck of a lot of difficulty to bring down, and he twists and turns and moves the chains, and it's down to the 20-yard line, and the Wolves will be operating in the red zone after 2 snaps and a penalty.
Let's go to the instant replay. I think George might get new clothing after this one. If you look at the very end of the drive there, Coach, I think they like his shirt quite a bit.
They teach defenders if you can't make the tackle grab cloth. They tried to do that. He still ends up picking up another 9 or 10 after that contact. And the guy is just tough to bring down. He's slippery. He's tough. He's strong. He's determined.
Smart move on Connor, though, right, Coach? He came up in the packer there. He saw it collapse, and he got that ball out in front of him. That was a good job there, not to get lineman downfield or anything. So.
Yeah, not your traditional RPO, but basically a run-pass option for Connor. If you like what you see, run it. If you don't, you can dump it. Usually those are more of a pocket presence thing where he's going to either hand off to the back coming through, reading a linebacker, or hit something inside and close. But got a little bit of a different deviation. But again, it brings Connor's ability to use his feet into the offense, and there, that's not a bad incompletion right there, Jim.
No, I like the fact that they got the ball down deep on there. I just want to see our receivers just keep running, though. Just don't give up on that, especially you got a little contact.
Yeah.
But that was a good pickup by, I think that was Nico playing back, defensive back on that, because there was a linebacker that came right in the middle.
Yeah, those throws are nice because they kind of take the top off the defense and let them know, hey, if you don't respect that, we will go deep. And that's what opens up those intermediate routes like we saw Finn catch on the first play of the game. So good to make those safeties have to think a little bit and honor the deep pass.
Got a late substitution in here.
Yeah, it's Crandall coming in at running back, it looks like, for... You can't tell if he came in for George or subbed in for a receiver, but he's up in a protection stance anyways. Here comes George. It looks like a fake jet sweep. Connor's going to keep it, go over the right tackle. He'll walk into the end zone.
That was an outstanding block by Charlie right there, Coach.
Yeah.
We get a replay on that.
Yeah,
that was just an outstanding block by Charlie. He came off that line, took his man. That's what got Connor in the end zone here. Let's look right here. Watch Charlie come up around the hole there. Beautiful job.
What was a work in progress early in the season, now they've become pretty money at that play where they have that little GT counter, and And it's good action, leveraging Charlie's athleticism, his ability to get out in front. You bring Chris across on a kick out, and it's just kind of taking that left side and their quickness and using it to your advantage.
Yeah, Connor actually took the advantage, or got the advantage here because he just paused a half a second to give Charlie and Chris to come down. That kick block that Chris did clears out the end and gave him all the room he needed to do. That was a great run play.
If he sits back in that pocket like that, just for that little half count, like you say, Jim, that gets the linebackers to buy, okay, this is pass. Now they're giving ground. That's going to decongest that whole middle area. And, yeah, you saw what the right side did, just collapsing the line inwards. The whole thing worked to perfection. Trips to the right here for the Wolves to go for two. They flip it short side into the boundary to Hunkins, and he's able to steamroll it.
Well done, George. George had an extra couple of points there, and he actually put his head down, Coach, and put his nose right through the end zone.
Well, you don't need much on those PATs, and he got what he needed.
That definitely set a statement there, Coach. I really like the way that it went down. That whole drive, I didn't have any errors. We executed on almost our blocks and got right in the end zone. That sets a statement against Bellevue.
Even the incompletion when we saw the ball thrown deep into the corner of the end zone, again, that serves a purpose for the offense in general. Wolves take the early 8-0 lead here. And, we're getting a replay of the touchdown again because, hey, why not?
Why not? Well, that's an excellent touchdown. There we go. Connor Karch, another Eastlake Wolves touchdown.
Unfortunately, folks, that's still only one touchdown for the Wolves, so they are ahead 8-0 here as we move through the first quarter on a lovely night in Bellevue.
Well, I like to see that we got started off on the right foot. I think our last week game there, we were kind of puddling around, couldn't get the ball where we wanted to, but that was definitely a statement. That's a tribute to the weekend, this week's work at practice.
Yeah, the Wolves come in at 3-3. They'd love to get a win here tonight. Obviously, keep themselves above 500 on the season, and it's always good to beat these neighbors of ours out here to the west because. Bellevue has been a tough program top to bottom for a lot of years and has given us fits at every level from the Pee Wee youth all the way up to the high school varsity. So they're a quality program and they will not be an easy test, that is for sure.
Yeah, I think our JV team that played on Monday night, that was a tough battle there, and down to basically the last play of the game or two plays of the game where they kind of showed their stamina and got that ball down the zone. That was a heck of a throw by Oliver Stiles, but that group did a nice job against Bellevue. I'd like to see this group do the same thing.
All right, well, with the kick out of bounds, the Wolverines will take over at their own 35, left hash mark here as they come out in their University of Michigan-inspired Wolverine uniforms, navy blue with yellow accents. Eastlake in their road whites with red pants tonight.
Definitely putting the box in front of them.
And an interesting alignment thing I notice already, Jim. You've got the linebackers, Brookshire and Hunkins, seemingly flipped in that formation, with Chris playing to the field side, which he has not done this year, and George is playing closer to the boundary, which he has not done this year. So it'll be interesting to see if that was just how they diagnosed the formation, if they're playing formation or if they're playing field as the game goes on. Keep an eye on those two. They're going to be busy. We know that. Those two are going to have big games for the Wolves to have success on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, Charlie's on the front side. Who's that? Is that far end there? Brody?
Nice shoestring tackle right there. Who stuck their hand in there? Was that Nico? Yeah, Nico Frantella with a really nice collapse there to trip up the ball carrier, minimize gain of 3. That'll set up the Wolverines for a 3rd and 6. And Eastlake has a chance right now to set a tone tonight and get their defense off the field.
Yeah, Charlie and Brody are going to get their work tonight here with this offense. So they're going to have to contain, keep that outside arm free, and make sure they can guard the ball carrier inside.
Yeah, so it looks like the Wolves have modified what they normally do here just a little bit. They've got 3 interior down linemen as opposed to their normal 2 with 2 defensive ends. That's Peck on the far side and the field side there. Charlie's in here close.
There's a hold they missed, but
well, there goes that discipline right there, right?
There,
so
yeah.
Eastlake thinks they see something, they don't stay home, and it only takes one guy out of position and another guy getting blocked, and they're off to the races. So.
Yeah, they just run that so well, Coach. You just can't. Yeah,
and we cut in there, and a little bit of a diving attempt by the safety there, but big gain for the Wolverines, and they're in business in the red zone at the Eastlake 19.
Let's keep wide side here. Good stop. Oh, Macha had him dead in the backfield, but just let him go.
You know, Abanov is going to be busy tonight. Those guys up front are going to have an opportunity on almost every snap to make a play. And Bellevue, to be at their best, they're going to have to be able to run in between the tackles on the dives and leads and then bring the counters. They won't throw the ball a whole lot. For the safeties, they have to respect the possibility of pass, but even the safeties, Jim, are going to be reading run first, especially in certain down and distances.
Yeah, it's when you fall asleep into this offense is when they'll throw it on you, so that's exactly right.
All right, winding through the first quarter here. We're coming up on about 5 minutes to go in the first, so quick start for both offenses.
Ball on the ground.
Ball's on the ground. Looks like the Wolverines fell on it. Quick whistles.
Almost snapped. Brings up third down.
Well, the bad news for the Wolves, they don't fall on that one, Jim, but the good news is no blood on that play, and the Wolverines are now going to have a 3rd and 8. And once again, the Eastlake has them behind the chains, and once again, we hope that they can make the stop here. And
yeah, we got to watch that counter on this side of Charlotte here. This is normally where they like to run these kind of plays.
All right, so it's the end around, and here comes Hunkins.
That's what I see that.
Yeah,
he snuffed that one
he
out.
shot the gap, and the rest of the Wolves had that strung out anyways, but it gives George the opportunity to fire through and make a tackle for loss right there. So you'll see the rest of the defense move laterally really nicely here. And George reads that. Nobody touches him, and that's if you're going to not block a guy, that's probably the least optimal, right? If you're the Wolverines. If you're not going to get hands on a guy, that's fine, but he's probably the one guy you want to at least impede his progress a little bit, and nobody even touched him.
Yeah, George did a nice job there, Coach. He's just watching that ball, and he went right to it as soon as he saw his ball, and that's what made a difference. So
Great diagnosis and a loss of 6.
This is where Connor's got to pay attention right here.
Yeah. So if they're going to take a shot, this might be the time, right? It's 4th and 14, and they're going to go sweep into the boundary,
Nice
and
tackle.
just nothing doing there.
Tackle right
Nico
there.
Frantella.
Good tackle.
And that's good coaching and preparation right there.
Yeah,
you know,
that was.
Nico is sitting on run all the way. He'll react if they're going to throw, and just does a really, really nice job of collapsing that. I'm a little surprised Bellevue ran into the boundary here, but you know, this is what they do. They test you. They test your discipline, and if there's such a thing as a probability, they'll probably work against it.
Yeah, that was a good job by Nico, and I think really, if you watch that whole side of that line there, they really got some penetration, which made them go backwards a little bit. Well done on the Wolf side. So let's turn this around, see if we can't push this down the field again. 3:43 here in our first, and
yeah, we apologize for the technical difficulties. You're not seeing any clock on the score ticker down at the bottom of the screen. We'll keep you informed of how close we're getting to the end of the quarter, gang. But meantime, here comes an inside run. That's Jack Crandall. Tries to bounce it outside. And
I think there's a face mask there. Boy, they didn't call that. That was an absolute
hard to tell
call.
if they had a handful of jersey or a handful of face. But either way, Jack gets spun down for really no gain there.
Yeah. Lost our replay, but I would have thought that would have been a penalty there, but we lose a yard there too. Lost about 2.
Lost a couple. Okay, so Wolves will have it 2nd and 12 here from their own 22. In Bellevue, they look like that Buddy Ryan defense from back in the day, Coach. It's a 46, right? You got the 4 guys up front, stack 4 linebackers right behind them. They play their corners up and aggressive, and they're daring you to go off over the top, which you know what, the Wolves can do that if that's how they want to play.
We can do that.
Yeah,
and I think we've got the receivers tonight that are ready to go.
Yeah,
I'd rather help us throw the ball.
I don't imagine
comes in late here. It looks like.
Yeah, I don't imagine the Wolves will do a ton of vertical throwing tonight, but if it's there for the taking, sooner or later, Coach Ed Kinney's going to say, "Yeah, sure, thank you very much." All right, so this is a quarterback draw all the way. Connor comes up, crosses the 25, but not a whole lot more.
Probably 4 yards on him.
Yeah, 3 to 4 yards on that. So.
You watch the Bellevue defense; they're definitely keen on Hunkins here. I'd like to see Coach take advantage of that, maybe in some play action.
Number 5 on a design QB run, brought down, brings up 3rd and 8.
Yeah, so you get a little lead play there for Connor. George gets out in front of him. Jack Crandall on the field. So you got technically a 20 personnel kind of grouping there. Eastlake very rarely uses the inline tight end, and here comes Crandall off. Nico's going to come back in, so they'll be back into their kind of standard personnel grouping here. And right on cue, as we say, they don't often use an inline tight end. There's Macha lining up over there, and we got tight trips to the right side here into the boundary. So empty backfield for Connor. I think he's going to be putting it up here. Here comes Frantella motioning across. Connor's back to throw.
That, aren't they?
And he doesn't like what he sees. Oh.
Yeah, we lost our blocks up front here. Yes, we got him through.
Yeah, little early penetration, and it messes up the whole operation. Wolves are going to have to keep a cleaner pocket than that for Connor to be able to have time to throw because it'll be there.
Yeah, you got to move your feet when that happens as an offensive lineman, right? Because you got to get that. You got to get out and get your feet moving. Once you stand planted, you're just not going to do much good.
All right, Wolves are going to punt it away. You can see the substitutions coming out here, getting a little more speed on the field. Crandall's going to come in for the long snap, and the Wolves will live to fight another day. 138 here in the first quarter.
Well, not as much as offense. We'd like to see on that second drive, but we're starting to see the Bellevue defense tighten itself up here, and that's going to happen more and more.
Yeah, Bellevue's always going to be well coached. They've got athletes. They're just not going to be an easy test, no matter how you slice it, Jim. And
Nope.
And the Wolves will be up for it tonight. They're getting a 5-second warning here. It looks like from the officials. Nobody back deep for the Wolverines. They're more than content to let this just simply roll away.
Good kick there. Well done.
Yeah, got it away
Little
just
line driver
enough,
like
just
that,
enough,
really.
and a nice Eastlake roll. It's going to go all the way down to the Bellevue 35 where it stops dead, and the Wolves will pick it up.
Yeah, good punt by Connor there. A little defensive. Didn't like the leak a little bit too much on the right side, but he got that putt off. That's exactly what he wanted. I don't even think Bellevue was ready. They didn't want to even receive it.
Jim, that punt is about how I like to think of myself. It wasn't pretty, but it was reasonably effective. So the Wolves flip the field.
Yeah, Coach, I'd rather more describe it as one more like you sharp, laser, and focus right down the middle.
It was a low line driver. I mean, I think Connor does that a lot during the summertime in baseball season.
That's a baseball guy.
He's a heck of a hitter. I know that.
Well, let's see if we can't get this defensive tighten up here.
All right. So once again, Bellevue comes out in their wing T formation.
Right there, just missed him. Just missed him again. Hang on to him. Well, they run that good, that counter inside.
Yeah, folks, it's like three-card Monty. You think you know where the ball is at, and you just don't. They're very clever with how they disguise it and all the fake handoffs and fakes and gyrations, and it's here and it's there, and I don't know where it's at. And, right there, a good example of they're keying on that tailback, but it's just a simple fullback dive. But with all that motion in the backfield, with all those moving pieces, it's really easy for the defenders to kind of get lost in space and forget what their responsibility is.
Our big guys got to get down. When they get pushed around by those guards, they got to stop and get down lower. Right there, came right through the same play.
Yeah, and until Eastlake stops it, they're going to continue to run that same play. That's the thing about Bellevue. Yeah, they've got a fullback. He's going to be a bigger guy that's going to be a capable blocker, but also a very, very capable runner every time.
Yep.
That is not a guard in the backfield. That is a true athlete back there that's going to run the ball a handful of times in the game and is going to be a threat. If you don't tackle him and if you don't eliminate that threat, you'll pay a price. So that ends the first quarter right at midfield for the Wolverines, and they're going to have a fresh set of downs when we get into the second quarter.
Well, while we're doing that, we might as well just recognize some of our sponsors while we have a break here.
It's as good a time as any, Jim. How about a word for Kinson and Kinson Homes? Debbie Kinson, thank you for all your years of support for Eastlake Youth Football and other clubs, high school football, you name it. This lady's got a hand in it. She's just the best and is your East Side and Seattle home expert.
Yeah, Albert Lee was another one of our good sponsors this year, Coach. I wanted to thank. They did a fantastic job for our auction this year. Brad Lee, again, for all the support this year. Wolf Sub-Zero and the Cove, your appliance and service superstore.
So, Jim, what did you think of the first quarter there? I feel like the Wolves had a nice start, maybe had a chance on that second drive to really continue to set the tone and get a little separation. Bellevue makes a nice stop, forces the punt. And the defense, which made a stop on the first series, giving up a little bit of ground here. So,
yeah, I'd like to see us coach on the, particularly on our second defensive series. Bellevue is starting to make progress with that counter, and they're definitely coming over our tackles like that. Jack and Steele this time.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to see them stand up and get pushed around. I think if they just get down low, fill that block right in there, it gives our linebackers a minute to get there.
Yeah, Wolves essentially operating here in what effectively in an odd front with that extra lineman in there.
Well, they just did it again. They just are beating us with that.
Yep, they're down to 4 defensive backs because
Deep foul coming in here on 56, I think, against Charlie.
Yeah, the defensive back's down to 4. We normally play with 5 because we're normally expecting a little more pass, and Bellevue is not pass-centric in any way, shape, or form. So
We got a holding going against Bellevue.
All right, so that'll march it back. Spot foul, of course, so they'll march it back from the spot of the foul, but that'll make it with the mark off here, Jim. I believe that's going to be the rare 1st and 11 now for the Wolverines.
Yeah, I think between Hunkins and Christopher, or maybe the ends, they got to just keep their eyes on 23. They're just giving them too much real estate.
Yeah.
and they're watching that that counter, that play action, and they're getting taken away.
Well, what you'd like for the linebackers to do is one guy is going to key on him, the other is going to go with that tailback that's going to run sweep, right? So right there, into the belly.
No, that was much better.
Yeah.
That was much better.
And that's where also, if you get your defensive linemen active and they're looking for that, those three interior guys, right? That's going to be Steele, Jack Ort, and Abhinav Macha right now. If those guys are looking for those little inside handoffs, right?
Yeah, right there. They just plugged that hole real quick and gave us a chance to get there.
Yeah, and Senior Sick, that's Matthew Fadul that was kind of watching the end of that play, but he's a big body, right? Get him on that D-line as well. He can contribute and add something.
That is a big front there. We should be able to put some pressure on that. We might be a little bit embarrassed.
All right, back to pass now.
Put your hands up.
All right.
Crandall fell asleep over there. I think he was watching the play and he didn't realize the man slid out on him.
But you know what? If you're going to give up a completion, a 3-yard out caught on the boundary is probably an acceptable outcome there. There's nothing available over the top.
That, Sean? Can you get the?
I'm not sure that we don't know whether or not this quarterback has the arm to really throw the ball down the field. Who knows?
I think we had good penetration in there. Yep.
Yeah. So Crandall watches that guy just kind of walk by, and that should be a key for him, right? And he'll learn from that.
And
first time he's seen it in game. I'm sure they saw it in practice, but that's a different world.
Brody did a nice job, Coach. I watched him slide out there and basically make sure he can give away that edge.
All right, end around now to number 12, and again, Hunkins comes.
Smelled that all
They're just not accounting for the linebackers shooting gaps right now, and honestly, if George isn't right there, if George isn't on that, Chris is right there with him, right? So both of those guys are reacting to what they see, and as soon as that number 12 pulls around, they're thinking to themselves, okay, boom. I mean, that's absolutely going to be a little flanker end around, and I got to correct myself. I think that was Charlie Jensen in the backfield, not Chris Brookshire, that was in position to make the play had George not been there. But he's so immediate.
Yeah, I was just saying that's immediate. It just happened almost instantly like that. It was a well done play. Well done defensively.
All right, so Wolves force a punt here, and Wolverines in punt formation. Nobody back deep for Eastlake. I think Connor's going to wait and verify before he goes back. Maybe just be content to let them kick it away, and they do. They kick it out towards their own sideline. It does take a Bellevue bounce. It'll roll inside the 25 and eventually kind of stop it around the, 21, 22-yard line, it looks like. So
yeah, not a bad spot to start. I think we did a great defensive play. It was great to see that in Georgia in the last play to take that out of them. And that counter was just really working well for them.
Yeah, the loss of yardage there on the third down play, Jim, I think that took any notion of making it 4-down territory for the Wolverines out of the playbook. 4th and 5, 4th and 6, 4th and 4, they'll roll the dice there, right? If it's 4th and 14 like that, forget it. It's just too low percentage. So the Wolves take over. They do have the ball at their own 21. It's 7:49 left here in the second quarter. And here come Crandall.
It's like Nico out. Yeah, Nico's out. Crandall in.
Yep.
It's
So
Connor bringing the play in.
Yep. So we got another two running back personnel grouping here. Wolves will have their outside guys, and
Let's see what I can roll out here this series.
And the big tall guy Macha at the tight end spot. So the Wolves changing their looks just a little bit here tonight. George is offset left from Connor right behind center. It's going to be an inside handoff. Hunkins looking to try to pop it through the middle on a quick hitter, but nothing doing. That's going to be a loss of yardage for the Wolves. They lose a couple.
I think it was Nico. Or was that George? Or was George? Oh, we lost that front line. I like to see our big guys get way more movement.
Little early penetration there from the Wolverines, and number 58 in the middle of the line over the nose just kind of gave the Wolves a little fit right there. That big fella, the interior tackle, 77, I don't think he'll be a huge problem. We'll keep an eye on this as the game rolls along, but the Wolves should be able to make some hay with some inside zone here, I think.
Yeah, maybe a double team, get some bodies moving there just to give some action there, but definitely don't want to see 58 kind of blast through like that, especially like Jack's side. You need to get in front of him and keep his feet moving.
Got to remember what the snap count is. We know it, they don't. So be quicker off the ball, and and that's again, you've got Connor's back to pass. There he goes.
Middle. Oh, George Hunkins had his hands on it.
Yeah, George
had his hands on it.
George's going to catch that more often than not, and you can see how easily the Wolves receivers hit. George was not the only option there, Jim. There were a couple guys behind the defense right there.
Yeah.
And here come the Wolverines with their "we want to be the Huskies" third down call, and the Wolves will have it 3rd and 12. Another chance to try to move the sticks here.
Nice play up front, though, by the offensive line. They give kind of plenty of time, got the ball, stepped into it, and got it right down the field. Look at good thrown ball. Too.
Yeah,
Good throwing ball.
Solid pass pro right there. Clean pocket for Connor to operate. And yeah, that ball was a nice throw. If he could have pulled 3-4 inches off of it, it would have been a little more catchable for George. But again, that's one he'd love to have back because he's got good hands. There's no question. You and I have both seen it. He can catch the ball.
He can catch it. I think it was just a hair out of his fingertip. I tell you, if I was looking there, if I was Coach Jones, I'd be looking underneath now. Now we've got them moving like that. There's got to be action underneath for us.
Absolutely. If the Wolves can have a vertical threat to take that free safety out of the play, they should be able to make some hay underneath. It said it's a little hook and ladder. Looked like a little wide receiver screen for Goldie. Instead, it's a hook and ladder. Nice trickeration. He pitches it right back. Pitches it right back to Hunkins going up the sideline. And remember, the Wolves tried to operate that play at the end of the game a couple of weeks back, right?
Yeah.
And Kaysen had to go down to get that ball, touched his knee down, so it turned out to be a nothing burger. But that's perfect, right? Ball is high. He can catch it. He can pitch it, and the Wolves pick up a first down with a little trickery.
Yeah, and I like the blocking coach. You know me as being a blocking coach. I like to watch receivers and everybody get in the play to make a lane there, and that's exactly what happened there.
Wolves did a nice job of selling that as a wide receiver screen there, and Bellevue rallies to the ball, but the ball
went the other way.
Yeah, the ball went to somebody different. They did not anticipate that.
It's nice to watch their own playbook get used on them. All right, let's see if we get a good defensive drive here.
All right, so Connor with an empty backfield once again. He's got 3 out to the right, moves Crandall across, so a little more balance in the formation. Now tight end over there, though, with Macha. Connor's back to pass. Looks like a screen. There's just nobody there.
Oh, gosh. That hit the ground.
Boy, oh, boy, oh, boy.
A little pinball there.
I got to say, Jim, I'm not sure what the offensive line collectively was doing right there. I thought that was middle screen all the way because they
take a look at it here.
Yeah.
Let him right through.
Yeah.
Just right through. And then we turned around and looked at him.
Yeah, once again, that right side getting tested. And remember, that's Steele in there. That's not Julian. He doesn't have as many snaps on the season. And they're testing him, right? They're putting a speedy guy over the top of him. For Steele, a better matchup might be that bigger, bulkier tackle that isn't as quick. Because Steele's a big, strong guy, right? But he's not going to win a lot of foot races. So,
I'd like to see less our players turn around looking at our quarterback. I'm not sure who's teaching that to him.
From what I'm seeing early, it looks like what the Wolves really need to do is get a double team on that fellow over there. Leave Jack isolated on that up end, and let the left side Charlie and Chris fend for themselves. They can do it.
Much better.
Nice little hitch up there, right there to Kaysen Goldie. Kaysen catches it. About 8-yard gain there, so nice pick up there on second down.
Yeah, and better offensive line here to watch, Coach. I think we saw the front stiffen up a little bit, I think, after that last play.
Yeah.
There we go.
So Steele does a really nice job there. Doesn't get any help, just handles that guy in his pass pro. Good footwork there. And over on the other side, Charlie and Chris are going to be just fine. So, yeah, I think for the Wolves, that's going to be the solution. If Matthew can snap the ball and take a look, hey, is there a blitzing linebacker I need to pick up? No, okay, now I can slide over and maybe help a little bit. But keeping Connor in a clean pocket, he's got all the arm talent in the world. He's got guys that can catch it. They can catch it close. They can catch it downfield. So just keep him clean.
Bellevue's a quick defensive front outside of maybe that 77. But like you said with Matthew, he's got to get the ball and he's got to look quickly to the play side and look for help.
All right, so heavy for the Wolves here to the left side. They've got Macha and Crandall stacked up right behind him. A lot of hands in the air. They're not sure what they're doing here. I'm not going to be surprised if they end up burning a timeout just to try to get everybody on the same page.
Yeah, we definitely had a miscue on that one there.
Clock wasn't ticking. I'm not sure if that has anything to do with this or not, but
5:46. So I don't even think they played the whole clock the last play.
I think they ruled Kaysen was out of bounds and stopped the clock. But yeah, the officials indicate that's an Eastlake timeout, so that's their first. And Coach Ed Kinney brings the gang over to the sideline, and I'm sure he's giving some careful instruction right now of, hey guys, this is game number 8. This is week number 11. We ought to have this by now.
Yeah, third down and 2 here. This should be a bread and butter play for them. They should be able to own that front line and get the push they need.
Yeah.
I don't think you need to do any trickery here. I think it's just right off the tackles, give it to George and pound it forward.
Yeah, I think I'm running right behind Charlie and Chris's side here. Number 58 over there is a little more active, a little more problematical, a little quicker.
Yep,
I think
right over his back.
I think if they can just get a good seal on 77 and isolate the linebackers, kick out 51 the end over there. Just run right there through.
Just run right through him.
Yeah,
just run right through.
This is 3-hole, 5-hole all the way.
Mono right here, right?
All right, so the Wolves are going to spread out the defense And this would be a place where if Connor said, "Hey, let me audible out of this because I like what I'm seeing."
Yeah, especially on this near side. Look at all that room right there. No.
Instead, just like we thought, maybe a quick hitter from.
The poor tackle.
Yeah.
Or I'm sorry, that was a poor
23
block.
came from the backside on that
Yeah,
one, and he
yeah.
flashed.
Yeah, right through, right in front of Matthew's face there. He should have picked that up.
Yeah. Yeah. So we'll see him. He starts off. He's the Mike linebacker right there. And he's just going to shoot a gap, right? The point of attack blocking was fine, but you can see him creeping up.
Yeah,
and if it not for him, George easily picks up that first down, right?
Yeah, Matthew went to the wrong side on his block.
Yeah. So that's just an adjustment they're going to have to sort out, right?
Yeah, young guy blocking.
Yep. So great to get a double team on the D tackle that's away from play side, but probably better to pick up the mic right there, and that leaves the Wolves now with a little bit tougher situation here. They're going to need, looks like 3 to pick up this first down from their own 44. So after Connor got him on the hard count earlier, they're chanting "Watch the ball" over on the Bellevue sideline. That's pretty good.
Got a timeout coming again.
It looks like Eastlake tried to draw them with the hard count, didn't get it. So Coach Kinney will burn another one.
I'd like to see Connor, maybe Ed, get in an RPO, especially in that one-on-one situation where that receiver or that backer's off too far. And Connor roll that way and give him the option like that, but then release. I think that play right there would give him some action. But it depends on how Ed sets us up.
Well, it's probably got to be a counter boot kind of a thing, right?
Yeah.
So if they can get the defensive linemen and the linebackers leaning to their right, and then Connor can bootleg to his right, opposite of their momentum, it'll give him a better chance. But with the speed they have over there, I don't think he can do a straight sprint out. I think unfortunately, from what we've seen early here, the leakiness on the line is probably going to make that a little prohibitive. So they're going to have to do something to freeze those guys up and then get Connor on the move.
Well, while we got a moment here, I want to thank Pape Material Handling for being one of our sponsors this year. Thanks to all the family at Pape, to their support for this, like Pape Material Handling in the Northwest. A good partner to have.
Absolutely.
Well, this is where we got to put the pedal to the metal here, Coach. I think our front guys have just got to over-dominate this. It's the only way we're going to win this battle right here.
Clearly some clock issues going on here now. It says that there's 48 seconds left. There were a few minutes a minute ago, so I think the officials are going to stop it and try to get this sorted out. They're just running off the timeout. Okay. So, that makes sense. 4 minutes, 45 seconds left. So plenty of time here. Wolves down to 1 timeout for the rest of the half, but plenty of time here to operate. They need to pick up 3 to keep this drive alive. All right. Connor fakes the jet sweep inside, coming back to Goldie. Goldie with he tried to scoop it up. He tried to scoop it up, but the ball was low. Connor got a little panicky.
He had him open there too. Yeah.
He did. Yep. Right there. He's got to just put it on him because Goldie runs a nice little stick route here. He gets just what he needs, nothing more. He drives the corner off, turns, and he's got plenty of space. Just put it on his numbers right there. So,
boy, this would have been a great tight end play right here, Coach. We could have at least tight end off of that. Yeah. All right, we got to toughen up here. This is going to be one of those inside drives again on 23 from Bellevue. They're going to run that counter. They're going to keep running that until we put a stop on it.
Yeah.
Jack and Charlie.
All right, Wolves back out here in their odd front today. A little different looking than usual.
Oh, he just came right by him.
You can hear some hear some pads popping down there, though.
Yeah, Nico, a nice job to seal that off, but we're just running over that side tackle there.
Yeah, it looks like right
by Jack.
Wolverines pick up 4 on the play. They said 5 on the loudspeaker. That's a pickup of 4. It'll be 2nd and 6, but a nice little start to the drive for the Wolverines. And the Wolves. I think I've figured out kind of what their adjustment is here, Jim. They're still in basically what their normal defense is, but the personnel is different, right? So you've got Cody Peck on the field, who's normally a defensive end. They've slid Abhinav Macha in there, who's played some end and some tackle this year, but Cody's basically playing at what we would call a strong safety spot or a wolf, and they got Jack Crandall stacked up outside of him as a corner. So it gets some bigger bodies on the field, keeps your speed, but some bigger bodies to crowd up that line of scrimmage.
We're making the penetration, Coach. I watched on Jack Ort's side here. He came through the line, and I think he was right in the lane where that ball was, and he missed him.
Yeah, just a whiff. That's going to happen. Wolverines pick up 5 there, so it'll be a 3rd and short here, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, I guess, that's a pick up 4.
Let's see Hunkins or Christopher get in here on these gaps again. Take this away from him.
Yeah, it looks like George is creeping up.
There
They
you
hand it
go.
off inside.
Oh.
It's a tackle. He hits him in the backfield. That's Abanov, it looked like. Got hands on him early and definitely held him up. But
Hunkins definitely got there to finish him up, that's for sure.
yeah, George doesn't get cheated. If he can hit something, he's
Right,
going to,
yeah,
right?
Yep, came through. Yeah, Machi got him first.
Yeah, Macha got hands on him to slow him down. Doesn't quite get the first down, so it's going to be fourth and very, very short here for the Wolverines. Looks like they're going to.
Oh, referees. Somebody going to mark. Probably going to kick the ball forward and give him a first down here.
I bet the Bellevue sideline has asked for a measurement,
Yeah.
and they work the referees as well as anybody. They are. That is nothing new to them. So here
I'm
comes.
just watching the ref see if he just kicks the ball just a little bit for him. A little bit of the foot wedge here in Bellevue.
I won't bother anybody with the dad joke, but it reminds me of a really bad one I heard from my uncle as a child. The punchline was the check's in the mail. But it looks like the check didn't clear for the Wolverines here. They are still short. The officials didn't nudge the ball. It didn't appear, but regardless of that, they're going to have to snap it one more time to move the chains here, Jim. And boy, if you're the Eastlake Wolves, do you
time to step in here?
Yeah, do you sell out and pinch that middle and send your backers? Maybe.
Yeah, that'll bring Connor down and then force one of them in, especially Hunkins or Christopher. I'd definitely send Christopher.
Yeah, I'd send Christopher in a second. George is the speedier of the two, so if anything pops through, you want to keep your speed on the back end. But Chris is a bigger, bulkier guy. He can be a hammer if he gets a running start. Just tell him what hole to run to and let him hammer
on the
it.
right side. We're going to go that way, so I'm hoping he'll step into that. We just have him come out.
So instead of getting 12 on the field right there, which could have been called, the Wolverines dodge a little bit of a bullet. Hey, it's freshman football. Let's go ahead and.
It sounded like a knee pad
No,
or equipment thing.
All right, so they had 11. They just had to replace one of the fellas. Okay, they go big. They got that big defensive tackle 58 in there to add some bulk. I wonder where they're going. I think if I'm the Wolves defense, I know right where they're running here.
Yeah.
Slant to it. Slant to it.
No, Christopher.
Here comes
No,
Chris.
There you go.
Yeah, they're going to get the first down, but the Wolves had a chance to stop that.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't mind seeing the defense do more of that in certain downs and distances because why not, right?
Yeah, why not? I mean, watch Christopher walk into that hole right there. You know that's where they've been running and making success.
Yeah.
He took it away.
Yep. They cruddy up that middle so they're less incentivized to pound it and try to get them stretched going sideline to sideline.
I think that's a great call on that. On our defensive side, keep doing that. They keep coming through that hole, keep creeping into that hole.
I think if Eastlake can muddle the middle and force the Wolverines to run to the edges, it probably works to their advantage, actually. All right, there's an inside handoff once again, and he's stacked and packed right at the line of scrimmage.
George with his classic horse tackle, roping him down.
Yeah, I think Big 7-7 got hands on him there too. So
nice to see that again. Get that, stop that hole right there.
Brings up second and long.
There you go. Get through there. Good penetration. Yep, good job.
Yeah, Jack fights off the block. George gets some penetration. They start tugging him backwards.
Back to the barn.
Yeah.
Good job there and a loss of one for sure.
Yeah, that's great. So
yeah, let's keep that kind of defensive momentum.
Wolves put Bellevue a little bit behind the sticks here, but time running down here in the first half. We're under 2 minutes. Wow. About a minute and a half left here.
Long.
Yeah, when there's a lot of running, the clock tends to tick down quickly. So
let's give that away again.
Back to pass. Peck on the rush. Ball's up.
Oh, Connor, look for that ball. Oh, how did not look for that ball again? No, ball on the ground, it looks like.
No, Kaysen got caught peeking in the backfield right there. I know he can run with that guy, but Bellevue gets a step on him. And,
they lull you to sleep with that. They lull you to sleep, and then when you find you sleeping, then they'll throw it up there.
We talked about this in the open. They will test you with your discipline, right? You have got to do your job.
We're still at 8-0 here. Let's see what that replay does. We're getting good pressure there. Let's see who got in through there.
Yeah, I see Kaysen bite to the middle there. Boy. He saw something that wasn't there, and that's the whole Bellevue offense. It's decoys and it's deception. So
Cody Beck with a good job coming around that end.
Yeah. I think him rushing that throw probably helped matters a little bit. All right, 3rd and 11 here.
There's that inside
handoff for Bellevue. Oh my gosh, he slips a tackle. He's going to get the first down and then some. That's too bad. The Wolves had a chance to get off the field there instead. Bellevue has 1:05 left and all their timeouts as they are on the cusp of the red zone. They're right at the officials mark it right at the 20-yard line. So
came over the right side. Who missed? Right in front of Macha.
Yeah.
Oh, Christopher got blocked out. Right there.
Yeah, he sneaks in there. George had a shot at him. Didn't have the greatest angle there, and he was just a little late because of that. And so you get a little leakage, and there you go. The Wolves have to do a better job, and Christopher Brookshire as a linebacker right there at the point of attack has to do a better job of taking on that block physically and pushing it back and turning everything back into the teeth of his defense, right? So he should not have his choice of where to run right there. He should have one choice, and that is to cut back to the interior, nothing else.
That's
right?
probably the first double team I've seen on Christopher too. I don't think that was. I think that just basically caught him off guard. I think he took on his first man with that second block game. He was.
So in the old days, they would teach linebackers make a pile. Right. If you can't make the play and you're getting double teamed, or you just got a guy that's too much of a load, bury it and make a pile and force that running back to bounce one way or the other. Make a pile.
Yeah. Don't give him 2 more feet in front of him.
No, because that goes back to what we've talked about earlier in the season with the defensive ends. It's not a lot of real estate that you're trying to control, but it's critical real estate.
That's right. Yeah, I think that just caught Christopher off guard. Otherwise, he's been having a heck of a game. Well, this is a minute 5 left here in the second before half, and up against the 20-yard line. So the Wolves have got to make some defensive plays.
Yeah, but scoreboard doesn't indicate it, but Bellevue has 2 timeouts remaining here, so they've got 20 yards of real estate to cover with this methodical wing T offense they run. There's number 23 once again. He breaks it. He's inside the 10, down inside the 10 at the 6-yard line. So that'll move the chains and set up goal to go for the Wolverines. And again, until Eastlake stops that consistently, they're going to keep running it.
Yeah, I'm just worried that our backers are losing that 23 watching the play. They should know that's where it's coming. It's going right back to him.
Yeah, let the outside guys handle the outside stuff. Here they come trying to run wide, and that's why you want to see Bellevue running sideways, because it gives the safeties and the corners not only something to do, but a chance to help with run support.
Yeah, that edge was taken away right quickly by Connor. Look at him move to the edge there. Yep, reads to it, flows into it, and puts a good tackle on it too.
The other thing the Wolves can be doing to help themselves here as this game progresses is they've got to get guys verbal in the middle of the field. If they see run, call it out. That helps the defensive backs react a little quicker, and instead of a gain of 1 or 2, you're talking about tackles at the line of scrimmage or tackles for loss potentially. So
yeah, the linebackers can catch, as you know, Coach. You taught us that same thing. Is when those guards start to move up there in front of those brothers, you know that way where the play is going. So you can as a linebacker help your team out by just letting them know those guards are going.
Absolutely.
Well, 40 seconds here.
Yep,
Fox is saying 2.
Yep, 40 seconds. The Wolverines can stop the clock one more time. It's 2nd and goal from just inside the 5 here. Knows the football, looks like touching the 4-yard line, so Wolves come out there. They need to bring the energy here and really sell out for the end of the first half, keep these guys off the scoreboard. Don't forget, Bellevue is going to get the ball coming out of the halftime, so they'll have the first possession of the third quarter. So this defense needs to bow up right here, right now.
That's what I'd like to see. One of George or Connor. We got that. We know where the line is, so we don't need to play in the back of it.
Yeah. Looks like a little confusion. Maybe the Wolves trying to create some confusion.
There you go, Jack Ort.
Falls into there was nothing doing there. Jack Ort didn't even get touched, and if that doesn't happen, that's maybe even a bigger problem than Hunkins. He's got more wingspan.
Yeah.
So that goes nowhere fast.
That's exactly what we want to see. Get penetration through it in the backfield. They got nothing to do.
Loss of 3, maybe 4 on the play. The Wolverines are going to have one last crack at this. Now, here's where, as a defense, you have to understand not only down and distance, but game situation. They've got 2 cracks at the end zone if they manage the time right. Going to be tough to get their formation back up to the line of scrimmage and ready to roll if they run the ball with only 31 seconds left. They can do it if they've practiced tempo, right, going up tempo a little bit. But it also invites a lot of problems with procedural stuff, right? Guys getting on the same page for snap count, getting a line properly.
Getting a line.
So what do you do that if it doesn't work, it stops the clock, you throw the ball. So here, the Wolves can do themselves a favor. Not only stay awake for a potential pass on the back end, right? They've got to get a chunk of yards, but also to watch for perimeter runs here, force it to the outside. You're okay if they run out of bounds.
Yeah,
if they want to pick up 1 or 2 yards in doing so, that's fine. Let the clock tick. We'll play for 4th down, but don't let any throws go over the top of you into the end zone, and for the guys up front, again, penetrate quickly, and if the quarterback's throwing, knock him off his spot. If the running back's running, chase him down, string it out.
Yep.
Make it go sideways.
Yeah, I think on Goldie's side, on the far side there, we're going to really have to watch for that. I think Bellevue's going to be tempted to want to get to that edge like that.
Yeah.
They know coming through the middle like that's going to be tough, especially Jack and Hunkins and Chris are waiting around for them.
All right, so Bellevue spreads it out. They're definitely, they look like throw here. They could be spreading it out on purpose, trying to create.
Timeout, I think. Huh?
I think Eastlake's probably going to spend a timeout. Ed's saying, I don't like the look of this. We haven't repped a lot against it, so let's make sure we know what we're doing.
Well, let's take a minute to look at a sponsor here while we're thinking about looking at stuff.
Hey, I don't even need to look at the script, Jim. Let me just put in a word for our good friends, and you know who I'm talking about.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, it's the good friends of ours down at the Pine Lake Ale House. Folks, it's the best atmosphere on the plateau. It's craft beverages. It's great service. It's good eats. By the way, did we mention Saturday and Sunday breakfast?
What could go better?
Come on down. Enjoy your team's football game on Saturday or Sunday. If they can get it on the TV for you, they will. Believe it or not, they do requests. They're just the best. Pine Lake Ale House. Sammamish is home away from home, I'll say.
Yeah, well, a very thankful year for Pine Lake Ale House and their sponsorship for us, Coach. Really well done. Hey, I like the fact that we huddled up, got ourselves a better chance of what we're trying to do here. They know they're going to try to get this ball off to the edges.
There's no incentive to take that time out into halftime, so
right.
Great job by Coach Kenny to use that right there and make sure his guys are ready, set, go on this very critical 3rd and goal here for the Wolverines.
I'd like to see our defense get a little tough here. Like, they'll just really start to dominate this on. Don't give Bellevue that kind of energy.
Have fun dominating. That's good. The good stuff. All right, so the Wolves look like they're manning up. They're going to leave Connor in the middle of the field. I hope he's spying on that running back because I think he's going to possibly get it. No, instead it's quarterback run all the way.
Stick.
What a stick. Holy cow.
Well, that was.
We got to see a replay of that because that's just so fun.
Is that Connor came back through? Or?
All right. Again, Wolverines have no timeouts. I'm not sure why the clock is stopped. Boy, nothing like a little home cooking. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely absurd.
Just the way they run.
You know, I hope we get a stop.
Oh, there's no stop right there.
Yeah.
Well done. That's
Wolves going to stop. Now kill the clock. Now kill the clock.
Yeah.
There you go. Kill that clock. Give us a chance to run a play. I hope we stick
Well
it.
done. That was a 4th down takeaway, Coach. Too bad we couldn't watch that replay. Oh, just the second replay. Jack Ork through.
Yeah.
And watch this stick. Oh, George Hunkins just out of his bed.
I don't know how they high-load him. I think that might have been Jack Crandall on the bottom of the pile, but holy cow, yeah.
Oh, great job by defense.
Yeah, wait for the defense to buck up there. Now you got 16 ticks, no timeouts, so whatever you do, you got to do it fast if the Wolves can either get out of bounds or get out of bounds or get out of bounds.
Yeah.
They'll get a clock stoppage if they can move the chains, but only while the chains reset, and then it'll start ticking again. So
and that was a 5-minute error on their side. Bellevue does this all the time. I don't have no defense about what they do over there. I can't stand the fact that when teams aren't paying attention. One job, and that's run the clock, do it the right way.
If they can cook in an advantage, they will do so.
Yeah.
So the Wolves are going to bring out the offense here. I don't know if Coach is going to just have him run it up into the middle, take a knee, and get out of here with his 8-point lead, or if he'll run a play. But boy, I'd like to see him take a shot down the field.
If the offense, there,
if
the ball up in the air.
If you connect it, then you talk about what's next. But if you don't, that's okay. Somebody throws a glove out to the back of the end zone. I think that's George. Goldie comes back to catch the ball. It gives them some breathing room, but they're going to run out of time before they can do anything with it. So that'll bring us to the end of the first half. And I believe coming up at halftime, we have this week's edition of The Den.
We do.
Oh, excellent. So here comes The Den for your viewing pleasure with David Oliphant and Jeremy Budish. Guys, take it away.
Your Eastlake Wolves, 8. Your Bellevue Wolverines, 0.
Get ready for another week of Eastlake Wolves football. The excitement starts now with an amazing pregame show. Live from the Den, here are your hosts, David and Jeremy.
All right, welcome to another night at the Den, the pregame show with Jeremy Budish and myself, David Oliphant. Tonight we're surrounded by all senior wide receivers, and we've had a couple of you on the show already, but we know there's a couple of other senior wide receivers. We couldn't get everybody on the show here tonight. We'll do some other items for senior night here next week against Bothell, but here we are. It's coming, the big game. This will be streamed before the live stream of Bellevue on Saturday night. It's been a while, I think, since Eastlake's played at Bellevue, so this is a super exciting week. But we'll get into it here with the receivers. Just introducing everybody. When I introduce you, if you would just wave at everybody. Jacob Kim, senior wide receiver. Jacob's played football at Eastlake going all the way back to fourth grade. Chase Hanchka on here. Chase is also, I think, going back to third grade. Landon Johnson. Landon's come out for his first year of Eastlake football this year with a colorful lacrosse career, and also played youth at a different program. And then we've got Mason King. Mason's having a great year on both sides of the ball. And then Estes Oliphant, my own son. Estes coming back for his first year back out after a year of injury. And Ethan Rogers, another senior here. Ethan's missed a bit of the season. He played in the first game, and we'll see him here back in the playoffs. And then Aryev Doshi, also a senior who's played for Eastlake for 4 years. So to everybody, welcome here tonight. Glad to have you. And Jeremy, just go ahead and kick us off here.
Yeah, and I think, Dave, you brought up having played in Bellevue in a while. I think I went back 10 years. We have not played in Bellevue in the last decade as Eastlake. So potentially I know we played back in the 90s. I saw a clip tonight on Jenny Johnson's Instagram feed of her cheering at a game with Justin as the running back. Talk a little bit about that tomorrow or on Saturday night at the game. So with that, I'm gonna jump into the questions. So I'll start with Chase. Chase, you did a lot of preseason or off-season work and preseason work, summer work, did a lot of camps. How did that prepare you for stepping up into the bigger role this year as one of the big targets on the team?
These camps, first, I didn't get to play at all really last year because I was just not starting as receiver. Then I got injured. They kind of helped me make that big jump from sophomore year to senior year. Different types of players, different intensity, I guess.
Awesome.
Kind of helped me ease into that different skill level.
Yeah. Well, you can see it in the play. It had a big impact on what you're doing this year for sure. And Estes, you put in a ton of work in the off season. How about you?
I think the biggest thing for me was I was never like a big weight room or like speed training guy, but from lacrosse to my like 7-on-7 stuff, it helped me get way faster. I was probably running like a 5.3, and then I ran a laser 4.71 or 4.70 at Wazoo. So that was like a fun jump and seeing times, and I don't know. I just saw physical stuff go up a lot.
Who's faster at the laser run, you or your dad?
My dad didn't run it, but he'd probably trip and fall.
Ow.
You both put in a lot of hard work. It was fun to watch you this off season, both in the weight room and 7-on-7 was great. Historically, Eastlake hasn't done a lot of the 7-on-7, some of the competitive stuff, and with just Jervis and Skyline and some of that stuff. It was really, I think that was great to watch you guys this off season, this summer, do some of that. I agree. All right, Jacob, moving on to you. It's been super fun to watch you this year. We went down to Southern California. I still remember Williams Field. You had your first couple of catches there. Also started at corner down there. But your biggest game of the season so far is Tumwater. You had 2 big touchdowns there. You've been out for a couple of weeks. You'll be back soon here. But, for you, what's been your key to success this year? And how did that go into the Williams Field and Tumwater game kind of help propel you?
I think a lot of my success comes from, being focused in practices and, really being in tune with the game plan, knowing what we're going to be going up against and knowing how to counter that. In game, it's the same thing. You just got to be focused. You got to see what you're up against, and you got to learn to react. And I think as the season continues, it's just you get into like a groove, you get comfortable with it, and it's just you're rolling from there.
Just chase that, Jacob. Walk us through your first touchdown at Tumwater. Couple deep balls, Ryder threw some good balls. Walk us through what happened on those plays.
Yeah, so I come off the line. I'm running at the guy. There's a safety over top of me, and I knew I was running the post, so I see him frozen there, and I give him a outside step, and then I jab my foot, and I go back in, and I knew that Ryder threw me the ball there, it's going to be in the end zone, and while the ball was in the air, all I was thinking is I cannot drop this. Once I was in the end zone, I mean, honestly, there was no feeling there. I was just so excited, like I couldn't think. It was just awesome.
That's awesome. Well, it's been super fun to watch you grow from even fourth grade to now, and you're having a great season here, and we're glad to have you back. I'm excited to see what you do against Bellevue and Bothell.
So is that confirmed, Jacob? You're back this week against Bellevue, or what's the prognosis here?
I think that's going to be a game day decision.
Okay, I like that. We don't want to give Bellevue too much of the secret sauce. The chances of them watching it before this is slim, but yeah, I agree. We'd love to see you back for sure. You were definitely one of the top targets, before your injury, and so getting you back, a game or two before the playoffs would be really good. So jumping over back to Chase. So Chase, with Jacob going out, you've become one of, if not, or you are the target, right? I mean, the number one target. If you go look at the stats, you got 3 touchdowns on the season, 27 catches, 341 yards. You actually surpassed last game. Last year, I think it was Chase Dannemiller was the number one receiver last year. You past his yardage last game, so great job. So as you go into each game, how do you prepare for a tough matchup like this week with Bellevue, right? They have some really strong defensive backs. What are you going to do, and what have you done this week to get yourself ready for that?
Oh, to be honest, I try to, I guess like my mindset area, I try to treat it the same as it would for, I guess, like Woodinville or Gig Harbor, whoever it is. I try to treat it the same as I would for those, like lesser teams. But I try to focus more on like my fundamentals to make sure I'm not messing anything up.
So just really practicing routes and
Yeah.
how you're gonna lose the back as you make your break.
Yeah, just no mistakes and try to just treat it the same as any other team.
Good. Well, it's obviously worked. You had a couple of really big catches in the that lost to Skyline, but you had a huge game that week. And then we've seen the couple touchdowns. I remember up in the box on your first touchdown, Dave losing his mind. So that was pretty fun. It's always fun to see Dave lose his mind. So
happens once in a while. Landon, we'll transition to you. Your senior year, you came out. You've had a decorated lacrosse career. You're going to go play Division I lacrosse on the East Coast here next year, but you've had a heck of a senior football season. It's been fun to watch you. What are your most memorable play or two, and kind of walk us through what happened on those?
I think personally, I guess my 2 most memorable plays have been like my 2 touchdowns this year. The one against Woodinville, I kind of just blacked out, I guess, when I got the ball. I saw that the blocks weren't amazing. I think that was mostly due to Woodinville. They just had a good plan for that play. And then kind of just my lacrosse instincts took over, made a couple moves, and then made my way into the end zone. And then with the Mount Si one, I remember Coach told me, like, get on his toes and just run as fast as I can. Ryder threw me a good ball. So yeah, those are probably my 2 most memorable plays. And then like for the team, I think there's a lot, but I would probably have to say like Ryder's touchdown run against Skyline, just handling the snap, the bad snap, kind of just making a play out of nothing. I mean, he literally cut through their whole defense. He had guys like running from the side trying to crack him, and then guys from behind like chasing him down, trying to hit him from behind. So and then he just made his way to the end zone. So
all right, welcome back. Oh, sorry, Jim, go ahead.
No, I was just going to welcome us both back, Coach.
Welcome back, Jim. Welcome back, everybody. Getting ready here to start the second half of Eastlake and Bellevue. Wolves took a 8-0 lead into halftime. They're going to be kicking the ball away to start the second half here.
And our defensive stance, and just before I went to half, Coach, was the right element to get us into the halftime. Now I hope we don't go flat here, come out in a second.
Yeah, that was a nice bit of resilience by the defense to stand up there in a tough situation. They've got 1st and goal from the 6, and we were able to keep Bellevue out of the end zone in spite of clock shenanigans, in spite of Bellevue coming out with a big widespread formation that probably had everybody, including Coach Kenny, saying, what on earth is this? And that wing tee in the first half, the Wolves did enough, right? They defended it pretty well for the most part. Obviously, the 0 on the scoreboard speaks to that, but you just can't replicate it in practice, what you're going to see in the game. So I'm looking for bigger second half production from guys like Cody Peck, guys like Charlie Jensen.
Even Machi, I'd like to see him get. He's in a good spot right there. There you go. Get that.
Yeah,
ball down.
those boys along the
That's
front
what we wanna
5
see
really
right
have
there.
a great opportunity here.
Goalie down in the light sideline, forces him inside. Oh, nice
Oh my
tackle.
word, that was a stick. I don't know who came flying up there. That looked like number 9, Nico Frantella. That's just excellent closing speed, and he just shut that down.
Yeah, and goalie did a nice job staying in his lane right here, Coach.
Yeah.
Ball gets past the.
Well, we saw that on our opening kickoff, right? The ball took not a friendly hop for Connor, got behind him, and this makes it tough on these
Nico
returners.
Was that Nico there?
Yeah, it looked like it.
Yeah, that was a good stick. All right.
Those dirty kicks are tough to handle, so the Wolverines start from their own 16. That is a long field they're looking at.
Good kick there to get him down, driven down
Very,
there.
very effective kick.
Well, we know Bellevue's going to come. They're going to come out with that counter. They're going to come back over that side again.
I'm putting 23 on his back, whether he has the ball or not.
Amen.
Hey, if we tackle him, we can just say we got faked.
Yeah,
That's a
there you go.
nice tackle
Yeah.
to start the half right there. Who's that?
Cody?
Again? No, that's number 9. I think that's Nico Frantella right there.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, coming right off of that short corner, and they've put Nico in a great spot to have some success tonight. And you've seen it a couple times now, where he's just going to come right off the edge.
Yeah, well done right there.
Yeah.
Came down and saw that ball the whole way.
He's up there in that nickel spot, right? So that's
George there to
great place for him to be, and you see him close that and nothing doing.
Yeah, good
Wolverines pick
defensive
up
strategy right there.
Yeah, Wolverines pick up a couple. That's not going to hurt you at 2nd and 8.
Here come right back over that same spot. There it is. Nice job. Well done. Well done. Came right over that spot. You knew they were coming that way. You could just see the way it was set up.
Yeah, who had the penetration right there? Because somebody flashed. Was that Big Jack?
Jack might have been through it, or Charlie came in there.
Well, I think there were a few guys around the ball, but I think Jack was the big disruptor right there. Yeah, you see him slant to the inside and get his paws on him and spin him, and that's just, at that point, that play is dead.
Too much guy for him to handle on, too.
But he's a large human, right? So, I mean,
Jack definitely is.
I remember Jack teeing off with him last year in practice a couple times and challenging him. I wanted to see how physical he'd be, and he is a strong guy.
Yeah.
So,
I don't need you getting hurt, though, with him.
All right. Oh, boy.
Oh, nice play again. Just
Yeah, Wolves send both linebackers right there, and there's
no
just
way.
too many people.
Yeah.
Too many people. Wolverines panic a little bit. Big Jack gets another tackle for loss right there because they come off of their assignment. They see Chris and George kind of flashing here to the middle, and oh God, what are we going to do about that? Yeah, and that's just ball game. Forget it.
Yeah, I think that pressure coach that we're bringing with those linebackers is definitely throwing those guards to think about it, which is losing their assignment. Our front guys are being able to get through.
So now you've got that, and you can bluff that for the rest of the game. You're in their head on that. You send George and Chris in the AA gap penetration. You can drop out of it if you want to. I wouldn't use it a lot, but just the threat of it is going to have those 5 down linemen for the Wolverines going, who the heck do we even?
Yeah, second and third downs like that, give that threat. Yeah, of course.
77 may not be fast, but if we don't block him, it's a problem. 13's fast. If we don't block him, it's a problem. They just have overwhelmed.
Almost had that blocked. That was almost blocked.
All right, ball checks up. The Wolves will stay away from that one, and they're going to take over on a very short
We
field.
had good penetration. This is a replay on that one, Sean.
Yeah, somebody looked like maybe got a hand on that. It sounded like it. Either way, the Wolves will take over at their Bellevue 34, and they're going to have a nice short field look.
Nice field to work with. Well, I think we had good penetration on it. I thought we didn't get the replay on it, but I think we might have had a hand, or we were pretty close to getting a hand.
It sounded like somebody maybe caught a little bit of that ball. That was pretty good. The Wolves have it, at the Bellevue 33. And if I'm Coach Kenny, I go for the jugular right
Just
here.
right here.
Play action, throw over the top to Finn or Kaysen, whoever you want to try to get behind their defensive backs. But I think you give them something to look at and then just go over the top, take a shot at a home run right here.
Yeah, send a couple of guys out of the zone, take them back there, and right underneath that for Finn. I think Finn, that first play we ran, the very first series, that was a play I'd keep coming with. I just don't have an answer for it. Oops.
Oh, boy. And
fell asleep at the wheel there.
Yep. Guys, we're going on 2, and that's Steele and Charlie both jump and take your pick, guys, but we're walking it back 5. By the way, when the linemen fire off like that, pretty telltale sign the Wolves were going to run it.
We were headed forward. Weren't we,
Yeah,
Coach?
they were going to go. They were hunting for somebody.
We were going somewhere.
Yeah, they were hunting for somebody. I think Charlie was going after 33. I think Steele was going after 23. Those guys are quick. Yeah, we want to get a head start, but guys got to hold your water just a little longer.
Boy, I tell you, Coach, this setup right here would be my kick block for Christopher coming out of this corner here. Number one that he's putting. I don't know where he came from, but
yeah, that's one thing we have not seen the offense really do. They pull Charlie and Chris around to that right side an awful lot, but they have not done anything with Charlie blocking down and Chris pulling out like a pin and pull concept or anything like that. And it would be nice to see and use that mobility to both sides of the field. Connor's back to pass here. He's going to swing it out to Nico. Nico trying to make a man miss, shakes a tackle, gets past that.
That's a nice job by Nico right there.
Spins back to the inside of the field and able to pick up a first down right there. Pick up a 17 yards on 1st and 15.
Outstanding, Coach.
Nico Frantella.
That was all football player right there for Nico Frantella. Gets the ball on the fly. Has a man coming down there.
Yeah,
makes a
nice job of making him miss, and then there he just gets a little good fortune with guys running into each other, and then able to go down and creative to get the last 3-4 yards there and move the chains, and the Wolves have it right at the edge of their red zone.
Outstanding job by Nico Frantella right there to make a football play. That was just outstanding. Get the ball, get some yards. And goalie was out there in front of him getting a block, so that's just good football.
No block, no rock, Jim.
That's exactly right, Coach. That is exactly right. All right, let's see the offensive line here can make something happen. And we got them on their heels now.
All right, Wolves up to the line, trips to the right. Hunkins offset to Connor's right. He's behind center. Here comes the snap. Fakes the inside handoff. He's going to call his own number, goes to the right, dances back to left.
Brookshire put the block on for that. That replay right there, Coach. I want to show you Christopher watches this.
Connor splits some linebackers, then splits some DBs, and 20-yard scamper to the house. Here we go.
Watch Christopher Brookshire come down the line, make his end block right there, catch his man, blocked out. That's all he needed right there.
Bam.
And then Connor uses his legs to get to the end zone. Well done, Christopher Brookshire. That's exactly what a football player should look like.
Yeah, that's a pretty good pull and kick right there. And the Wolves have gotten pretty darn good at running that play here as the season's progressed, and you see it. So Connor's a heck of an athlete.
It's hard to defend it if you think about it. I mean, you all of a sudden you've got a quarterback that'll put the ball on the ground and go, and if you let Hunkins go, they'll give it to you and then burn you that way too.
Well, these guys know what a threat George is, and when he hits that left side, even though the linemen kind of vacate. They still have to be accountable to number 13, so they're not going to be run support over there. And then you're overwhelming that right side with Charlie and Chris coming around to do their business. So,
well, the Wolves set up for a PAT there, and Nico needs to just slow down a little bit. That ball, he was already moving towards the ball when it was in the air.
He's got plenty of leg.
That's right.
That was one where you kind of wish somebody would have just gone Lucy Van Pelt mode, pull that, and let's throw it into the end zone. Maybe take a chance at 2.
Fire would have been the play there. Yeah, Nico, I think, was a little excited about getting that ball kicked into the end zone.
I think he's probably been trading on that game-winning kick at Skyline for a little bit while, here. So why not? I don't blame him. I would too.
I'd cash that check for sure.
I'll tell you what, if he didn't have a homecoming date before that, he certainly
his odds got better.
Yeah, he should have.
His odds got better. Well, it was a good drive by the Wolves there, particularly take that defensive stop and then turn that ball and make the points in it. That's exactly what you want to do on this place.
So 14-0 Wolves, 7:15 left third quarter. We're still very early in the second half here, and the Eastlake tees it up. They're ready to kick it again. Here comes toe to leather. Frantella slows down, gives it a boot up the right side. The return man smartly comes up a little bit more shallow this time.
Coming the edges.
Yeah,
Jack
nice
Crandall.
job by Jack Crandall in pursuit right there. If we can get a replay on that, that was excellent because he saw this guy trying to work outside all the way. He just lingered, and then when he made his move, Jack closed on him. And just keep an eye on number 3 there. He's going to start running laterally down the 35-yard line here, and as soon as he sees that guy break the outside, he accelerates to...
Well done, Jack Crandall.
Yeah, he accelerates right to the spot, beats him there, and is able to keep his leverage and make a great open field tackle. That's nice work on special teams.
And it gives you time for your helpers to get down there and put his shoulder into somebody too, and that was exactly what they did, got to the ball.
All right, Wolverines with their back against the wall, so to speak. They're down 2 touchdowns here, still early in the third quarter, as they come ready to operate.
Going into that play, you can see it coming.
Yep. And once again, tripped up near the line of scrimmage.
They're not going to give up on that play. I just don't think that Eastlake...
Looked like once again Frantella might have got a hand on a shoe there to support that. I'm not sure if that was him or Charlie Jensen, but Bellevue tries that right defensive right side.
Oh
Yeah.
no, that was definitely Fentella came
Yeah.
in there. Good job. I thought that was Charlie coming down the line on it, but I think that's a good defensive strategy they got here, with especially those edges like that coming into that, making it forcing him inside that. Just like I see Christopher and or particularly Hunkins, when they line up for that, they just almost always going to go to that play.
Yeah, just key on that
Just
fella.
key on it. You're right. We got Connor in the back for the nail. He can at least catch up to him if he gets through.
Yeah, I think if I'm Eastlake, I'm putting that guy on his back every single play.
Yeah, right there. Bad tackle. Bad tackle. That ball's on the ground. Well, that might be Eastlake's ball.
Said it before. If George Hunkins can hit something, he will. And you see
That's
him
Eastlake's
track
ball?
that down from behind, and I don't think that ball carrier ever had any sense that he was about to get absolutely blown up. That was
George
a huge
got blocked
hit.
out. Yeah, came through, got blocked out. Goalie just held him up a little bit.
Yeah, but you see him run. Oh boy, that's too bad. Folks, you're going to want to run that back in your free time just because it was so cool. And once
George
again,
Hunkins just missed it again.
yeah, that's okay. Frantella there to clean it
Yep,
up right
yep.
near the line of scrimmage once again, and he's having himself a day.
Yeah.
Especially on the defensive side of the ball. We called his number a minute ago with the nice catch and run, but he's made several shoestring ankle
Let him
type
come
tackles.
through that hole. Just missed him.
Yeah, right
Just
there
missed
though
him.
at the line of scrimmage, and he's attacking that. He's doing a really good job of maintaining his outside
Tell you what,
leverage.
Nico, you're right, Coach. He's doing a great job on that edge.
Yeah, schematically they've drawn it up for him today, where he's got kind of that guy that's unaccounted for, and he's been there to answer the bell for the most part. So he's having a heck of a day.
You know, Charlie just keep working that edge, making sure that guy's got to go inside him. We'll take that all night. Let him do that. Second down here. There it goes in there, right side. Oh, let him through there.
Yeah, Wolves roll the dice with a blitz right there. They're able to bounce it, and the Wolves don't do a good job of filling away from the play, and Wolverines pick up 10 quick ones right there.
We got through the blitz, but
yeah. Unfortunately, right there, it looked like just a little miscommunication where the line maybe didn't understand where the blitz was coming from.
There's a hold coming. There should be. Yeah. Way to string it out. There was a hold on that side. I'm not sure where that didn't get called, but
And that's terrific work by Connor Karsh coming up from the safety spot right there and run support, waiting for the play to develop, and then attacking downhill.
Replay on that one. Good job of Connor. Right? Watch it come through. Watch the backside.
Yeah. Connor sees that end pull around that flanker, and he's like, okay, that's me. I'm in the flat. I'm going to take that away. And the Wolverines pick up a couple there, but nothing really hurt. You got them in second and a long 8. Halfway through the third quarter here already, Jim. We're going to be home before we know it. This game is
just
ticking
moving
by.
along.
Gotta love those ground games.
Yeah. Not a lot of clock stop here for us on this these drives.
All right.
23. That's where I'm watching. Goes right to him. There you go. Hang on to him, Georgie. Hang on to him, Georgie. Atta boy. Well, the horse wrangler does it again. He wasn't about letting him loose. He came through there and found him pretty quick.
And the Wolves have changed up their personnel a little bit once again, I believe. Yeah, I think what they've done is they've put Chris Brookshire down onto the line. They brought in it looks like Ram Rishi as a linebacker now, so you get a little bit more quickness, a little more athleticism along the front line with Chris down there in the middle between Macha and Big Jack, and that's going to be a problem for Bellevue, right?
Yeah, I'd slant into that number 23. That's exactly what
Yeah, he's just hunting, right? He
Yeah,
just needs
just
to keep
get
his
down
eyes
there.
up at the snap, stand up the guy in front of him, two-gap it, and go find 23.
Oh, there you go, Jack. Hang on to him.
Yeah.
Hang on to him.
Yeah, that's going nowhere.
Yeah.
And you see Jack, you see Cody, you see Chris, you see Macha. Everybody's it's a party in the backfield. Jack just happened to get there first.
Coach, I'm not sure who taught him that move at the end of that play, but it was a definitely defensive play on his part to find that ball.
Yeah, well, he's working on it. He's
Yeah,
a
look
young
at that.
fella. He's got
Yeah.
all kinds of time in the offseason to
Get
pick up his dance game. And
dance game there, yeah. I'll have to ask his mom later where that came from. Well, that was a great play on our side from the defense. It was a way to put him in a fourth down position. They got to do something here.
yeah, I'm not. Bellevue's going to spend a timeout here. They got to sort out whether they punt and try to pin the Wolves deep, or if they're going to try to move the chains, which seems against this front like it's going to be a big challenge.
Well, a big challenge for us will be here to get our sponsors in before this break comes down.
Boy,
But I definitely want to thank Cheryl Hill for Compass Realty. She's been just an absolute wonderful sponsor for us. Friend of the family. Nothing better than Cheryl. If you got a listing, you think about something and move a home, you got to want to buy a home, think of Cheryl Hill over at Compass. And how about
LBM Travel? We
Yeah.
haven't mentioned them tonight.
good time to travel?
Hey, we want to say thank you to your support, LBM Travel. Let Leanne be your expert guide for travel and savings as the holidays rapidly approach,
Coach,
Jim.
that's right. What a better time to start thinking about travel now.
Yeah, get ahead of it, folks.
Well, we got fourth down, Coach. I think that was a great 2 defensive series that came out of that. We got loss on both that. That shows me that Bellevue can't figure out what to do on that inside, and wonderful to see Crystal join the front here.
Yeah, the Wolverines are kind of in no man's land here. They're down 2 scores. They're running out of daylight in terms of ticks on the clock, so they might feel like they got to go here. And they are keeping the offense out there, but boy, 4th and 15 is just a lot to ask. So they're counting on the Wolves to have a discipline breakdown. They're back to pass.
The ball's going in the air. Now turn and go to it. Turn and go to it. There you go. Good job.
All right.
Yeah.
Not a lot of pass rush, but plenty of pass defense. That's Case
fine.
and Goldie out
Yep.
there on
Well
the
done.
island.
Turn off
and
on the ball. That's exactly what you
he
want to do
did
there.
that right there was terrific work by number 10. He was expecting pass all the way. That's situational awareness, right? He's down in distance. He knows they're going to put the ball up. And he had a better chance of catching it than the receiver. You cannot ask a defensive back to do any better than that.
Yeah, well done. We needed that play out of Kasem, and he actually put it together. And that's the one time we needed it. So good for him.
All right, here comes Karsh to the huddle with the play. The Wolves will start with a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 on this possession here. They're second of the third quarter, and this would be dagger time. If the Wolves can come down and convert on this one, Jim, I would have to think that's
3 minutes in this quarter here, so we got plenty of time to move the ball.
You never say never. It's football. It's freshman football. Anything can happen. But the Wolves definitely in the driver's seat as they come out here operating in a pistol. Twins to the right with the tight end over on that side. Connor's back to throw. He's looking for the slant. He's looking for Goldie. Goldie gets his hands underneath it. Nice sliding catch out at the 45-yard line by Case and Goldie.
Yeah, Goldie, what a job done there on a catch. Get
I
to
don't
the
think
inside and cover the ball.
The kids are all fond of saying 6-7 these days, and Jim, I got to do the hand thing, right?
Yeah.
But right now, it's been about 9 and 10 for the Wolves. Number 9, Nico Frantella. Number 10, Case and Goldie.
Outstanding
Both just
job.
having
Outstanding
terrific
job.
games, especially here in the second half.
And eyes on that ball the whole way. That was
Yeah.
a low-thrown ball, and Kasem got down in there
Yeah.
and pulled it up into his chest. That was a great job by his part.
Once again, we'll give a little love to the fellas on the pass pro, giving Connor a pocket to operate in. That ball comes out clean. Kaysen goes down and gets it. Wolves move the chain. It's 1st and 10 at the Eastlake 45, and they are...
Yeah, they had Hunkins in the back there, just behind him as a extra protection. So that was good that they shuttled that to the forward. Trips on the far side here. See if we can do something with that.
All right, Hunkins is offset to the left, trips out to the right. To the
No linebackers.
Oh, and George
false
leans
start.
a little bit, and yeah, he's putting his hands on his mask. He knows, yeah, they got you. It's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, but if you happen to notice that defense, they either were going to stop at the line or there was a home run coming.
Yeah. Well, Bellevue's at the point now where, look, they've got to have a stop.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to take some calculated risks here with their defense. They understand. They understand as well as anybody the situation in the game, and if they're going to get back into this, they've got to get a stop, and they got to get a stop.
Yeah, they're going to commit to it, that's for sure.
So,
well, I tell you what, though, George could have got over that. He could have got just through that line. There was nobody in the second level there. They're going to do it again.
Yeah,
here.
so the Wolves keep spreading them out, and with no safety in the middle of the field, you're absolutely right. It will not take much. Inside zone to
Right
George.
there.
It goes off the right side, but once again, that big tackle, 58.
There's a flag coming there. I'm not sure what that was.
I think they're going to get somebody for holding over here on this side because that official had no look at the far side, and if he got any face mask or anything, that's not his call. So Sean Goldie with the verbal comeback to the Bellevue sideline, who does seem to be very loud.
I think we got Pepsi and Dr. Pepsi going from each stadium here, Coach.
How's that?
I said I think I can hear Pepsi and Dr. Pepsi or Diet Pepsi over here. I can't remember. Yeah. I can hear each side.
So
That's
they're
definitely one
walking off
against
a
Bellevue.
penalty on the Wolverines. I didn't catch the call. Did you?
No. Well, by the looks of that, it must have been a face.
Yeah,
mask.
I'm thinking that. So
That's
something
15
there might have been
yards.
an unsportsmanlike or an unnecessary roughness over here. I saw Kaysen tied up with somebody, and it was away from the play. There was really nothing doing. Now the Bellevue somebody, whether it's a fan or a coach, is yelling at the players. That's never a great sign. So, boy, it takes me back. We had a game last year, Jim, and it was the damnedest thing I've ever seen. I think it is right up there.
I think we were in Eastlake when that game was going on. wasn't
Yeah,
it?
with a mom who came out of the
Yes.
stands and berated her own kid. It was I've never seen anything like it. Unreal.
It's a good old days from 1970 again.
Yeah, when moms are grabbing their own kids by the face mask, you know it's a tough day. Connor back to pass here in an empty backfield. He's got all kinds of space in front of him. He's going to tuck it and run. Comes around the left end. He's going to get shoved out of bounds.
Got the first down out of that one. What he uses like, I'll tell you what, Coach George Hunkins was down the middle, wide open. Watch him through this slot he comes out of. Comes right through the seam, right there.
Yeah, it looks like he broke right open. But Connor saw just a foot race to the corner, and hey, I'll take 10 yards.
We'll take that all night.
We'll take those 10
all night.
They're now down to the Bellevue 33 here, and we're under a minute to go third quarter. Wolves in no hurry. Obviously, they're gonna use as much clock as they can. Not sure why the clock is running. Connor did go out of bounds. The official standing out at midfield waving his hands, but maybe the folks over on the other side are just as eager to get home. I don't know.
There's a special somewhere, I'm sure, that clock watcher wants to get to. Okay, well now we've got an excellent opportunity here to get.
All right, here come the Wolves. They're spreading it out again with twins over to the right side, to the big side of the field. George is going to motion out there. It's going to be a little swing pass out to him. Great blocking on the outside by the receivers. Nico and Case and Goldie both with terrific blocks on the perimeter there.
I love that, Coach. I love to get those alleys made with those receivers.
Yeah, that's pretty nice right there.
And what a nice feather touch pass by Connor.
Yeah.
Watch that defensive end right over his head and that hand.
Boy, did you see the left side of our line right there, too? There's no traffic. If Connor wants to fake that later.
Roll that back out.
Yeah, he could just, you know, hey, Abanov, Chris, just get out in front of me and I'll do the rest.
We don't use headsets in freshman ball, but they could hear us from up here. That's exactly the play.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, if Connor saw that or if Ed Kinney saw that, they can come back to it. You might want to run a little inside zone or something right here before you come back to it. Try to get the ball back over towards this hash mark so you can run that little bubble screen effectively. But the Wolves will go ahead and let the clock run out on the third quarter here. Again, no incentive for Eastlake to play fast at this point.
No.
They're going to have a first down when we start the fourth quarter.
But that was a commanding drive right there, Coach. Like you said, we could definitely come out of that with a couple of different options. I'd like to see that coming into the fourth quarter. So, well done by our Wolves here on the third quarter, the end of the third quarter. But let's take a few minutes to think about our sponsors again.
Yeah, 100%, Jim. It is that time for sure. Who are we teeing up? You pick.
Go right choice.
Kinson and Kinson. All right, how about that?
One of the best.
Thank you for your years of support to the Eastlake football program as well as other clubs and programs. Kinson and Kinson Homes, East Side and Seattle home experts.
And Coach, I think the next wonderful sponsor of ours is, why not, Pine Lake Ale House. As the fourth quarter gets closer, think about Pine Lake Ale House. Good spirits, good food. Saturday and Sunday, join us for breakfast and brunch.
Yeah, absolutely. Best service, best atmosphere in town. Love those guys. Can't say enough about Kevin and his team over there. Just wonderful people. And they've been doing it for years. I mean, gosh, Jim, I think I moved up here. It's been 17 years now, I think. Yeah, almost 18. And I remember going to the ale house with an old friend of mine before even moving up here to Sammamish, and he said...
And they've kept you young by going there, Coach. It's a fond of youth is in there.
He said, look, this place is a staple. You're going to spend a lot of time in here. I had no idea.
Best place to watch a game is for sure on the plateau here.
Undoubtedly.
Well, fourth quarter hits us down. I think we're going to have a drive-in going into Bellevue south side here. So I'd like to see our Eastlake Wolves punch us in right away.
Hey, you gave a shout-out to our fans in Florida earlier tonight, Coach. Listen, I want to say thanks for joining us once again to Gabe, Allie, and Nala in Littleton, Colorado. Love you guys. And for all the rest of the Wolves fans around the country and on the internet, we appreciate you joining us. These guys are out here working hard, and it's just fun to have you join us on game day and watch these players pay it all off.
Great thing having family and friends watching from afar.
Yeah. Good time to mention, too, on the backside of that ale house, Jim, Mark Karsh's sister in New York, she promises she's going to come out, and we're buying her first one over there.
I like that. The Wolves can absolutely do that. Oh, there might be a head tackle there. I'm not sure why that didn't get called. I see that ball being thrown on the sideline. I keep thinking it's a flag coming in there.
All right. So once again, that's that big 58 there at the defensive tackle spot, just giving fits to the right side of our line. And quick penetration, and he ties George up right around his collar. And George isn't going very far. He's a strong guy, but that's pretty hard to run out of right there.
We got the second level, but we're not thinking first level there, and that's why he got through.
Yeah, and we've tried to teach that for years, right? Get those double team blocks, and if you can push those defensive tackles into the lap of the linebacker, you don't even need to block the linebacker. I mean, it's great if you can get a piece of him, but if he's got a defensive tackle falling into his lap, that's a tough office to work in, man.
Exactly.
I don't want to be trying to make plays from there. I got to give ground and run around him. That's no bueno.
Yeah, we're trying to teach blocking in a phone booth here, so let's see if we can't get this.
Second,
Bellevue's pitch in that middle. They're going to stuff those linebackers. Here he comes from it.
2nd and 12 here for the Wolves. And that's incomplete. It was never backwards, Coach, but it was close.
No, I think the only backwards is over in Bellevue stand right now. I think they can't figure out which way is forward.
That's okay. The Wolves will have that pass fall incomplete, short, setting up a 3rd and 11, maybe a 3rd and 12 here.
I would have liked to see
12, long
Connor
11.
kind of not immediately commit to that throw.
Yeah.
He had Macha, if you watch here in the middle. If he'd have gone.
Pump that and go over
Yeah,
the top,
yeah.
right? There's got to be something that they can do out of that, some kind of wrinkle. And it might be a delayed release for Macha, but boy, as soon as those linebackers vacate in the middle of that field's wide open, a little tight end pop
I would
pass, some variety of that would be just fine. Macha way out in the slot though on this one here, so Wolves are trips left here on this 3rd and 12. They run the bubble screen look out there to the right.
That's what
Connor
you
comes
see.
back over the middle.
There you go. And that might be a touchdown.
Yeah, I think they're gonna get the Wolves for ineligible man downfield, Jim. There was a lot of traffic, and they were not where they should have been right there. It was a good concept, but you got the lineman getting too far down, and that one's going to get called back.
Yeah.
I mean, unless the Wolves catch a real break here, and this is some other flag, but there were 2 or 3 linemen down there just a wee bit further than they should have been. Yeah, you see big Matt Fadul down there.
Yeah,
Chris is on a block riding a guy. He might have been guilty, but Matthew was definitely downfield, and take your pick. Referee's going to touch the top of his hat, and that means one thing. You and I both know it's not what we want to see as an offense.
But if we, I did like the play call.
Yep.
Just the execution of it was.
Yep. Just the timing a little teeny bit off there.
And that's a tough play too for a young player.
Yeah. That's not one you're going to rep a lot in practice, and Nico did his job, and boy, once again in the open field, he was spinning and he was moving and being elusive, but the Wolves are going to have to back that up a couple paces. I'm not sure what the heck the call was there, Jim. Usually illegal man is 5 yards and replay the down. They mark it back a full 10 for the Wolves here, so I'm not sure what the call was, but that's the wrong yardage if it was an illegal man downfield.
Illegal man downfield.
Yeah, it looked like he touched his cap.
That's not a 10-yard. Not sure Ed's not arguing that.
You know what? It's we love a challenge. Why not? So 3rd and 22 now for the Wolves. This is a big ask, but if they can get a chunk of it back here, I'd have to think that they will very much consider going for it on 4th and down.
A lot of real estate here. Bellevue's going to want to put some pressure on them, so this might be an opportunity to take a chance.
So the Wolves spread it out. I know where I'm going here if I'm Coach Ed Kinney. Connor fakes the handoff up inside. We got another flag. It looks like somebody flinched. Yeah, they're indicating that it's number 11. That's Finn 7. Must have flinched over there on the outside.
Got the replay.
Yeah, 5 more yards.
All right. Well,
when we said we like a challenge, we meant it.
Self-inflicted, paper cut here.
Well, with 8:24 left here in the 4th quarter, Jim, it's we're getting down there.
Don't like the mental mistakes here. This is what we want to do at this time of the ball.
No,
game.
if you're Coach Ed Kinney, he's down there with his hands on his hips, and that posture tells you probably all you need to know. I'm sure he's more than a little frustrated with this.
Yeah. Here we go here. Is that Finn again? Bellevue playing pretty far off that ball, so that should give him some room to go.
I don't think they have it in the playbook, but I'd sure love to have seen.
Connor's definitely going to think through that one.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, he caught that.
Oh, my word.
Yeah, he caught that.
Yeah, he caught that. He's in bounds. He's in bounds.
Oh, he's waving it off. That is such a bad call by that referee.
That's terrible. Yeah, that's a terrible call right there. I don't know if the camera panned to see it, but Finn clearly got a foot down and might have even gotten 2. I don't know, but
that is a terrible
irrespective,
call.
That ball should have been called a completed pass. And
yeah, he's calling him out of bounds with that right foot. That was a bad call.
Yeah, that's a tough break for the Wolves right there. Connor reinventing the Tim Tebow jump pass right there. Tebow used to run that down by the goal line. I don't think he ever threw it 25 yards down the field.
Right, yeah. Tell you what, though, that was a good offensive play by Connor to come out of that play, look downfield, get the ball down there, got it to a player. Didn't do any harm from us, but
Connor was just a little indecisive there, right there. It almost looked like he had too many choices and wasn't quite sure where he wanted to go, and eventually rolls out and then spots Finn kind of leaking behind the defense. But
I wasn't watching our receivers either, Coach. I think they might have bunched up. That's what gave me kind of that confusion there.
So the Wolves are going to kick it away here. It's 4th down and punt.
8 minutes
too
left.
bad, but 8 minutes left. Yeah, it's 8:08 here in the 4th quarter. Makes me think of going to some tasty waves in Hawaii. 8:08.
I love
but
that.
Connor's going to kick it away.
Good kick. Good snap. Get down there and get that ball before it gets in the end zone. Get that.
Oh, that's just too bad. It takes a Wolves bounce, but boy, Connor just needed to be about 3, 4, 5 yards deeper, and Finn would have had a chance to catch up to that. That was a good effort.
Nice job by Finn to try to get there.
Yeah, Wolverines will take it over, though, at their own 20. That's still a long field they're staring at.
Good, yeah, I think Finn was a little amazed it got that far over his head.
Yeah. Oh, that was a boot. I don't know if Connor's punted a ball better than that this year.
Not yet this year.
Just under pure distance and hang time. That was up there. So the Wolves come back out once again. They're in that...
7:57 here.
All right, number 35, Aniva Haradia, excuse me. Sorry about that, Aniv. Aniv checks into the game. Good to see him getting out there tonight. Let's see if we can call his number. It looks like he's going to play...
far side corner.
Yeah, he's playing over on the far side corner where Crandall's been playing. They're going to give...
looks like
they're going to move Crandall inside to play linebacker. Hunkins finally gets a break. That's good. He probably needs it. Wolves are up 2 scores here, 7:57 fourth quarter, and Bellevue going to spread it out now. They're going to get out of character.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They have 12 guys on the field. You got to throw the flag. Oh, I think call a penalty. Thought he was getting under center. That should have been
Well, we talked about Hawaii. We live in Washington, but right now I think the Wolverines are in the state of confusion, Jim.
Yeah, that 12 men on the field, and they were trying to shift personnel in there, so it definitely looked like they didn't have a clue what they were going to try to run there. I definitely didn't like the fact that we weren't quite set for that because Chuck Crandall started moving around a bit. That 23 is still in there, and he's still pretty dangerous.
Well, we'll get a little word for a sponsor here. Sounds like a good time to do it. We got a timeout.
Outstanding.
Bring them on up. Who do we got? Oh, yay, it's Pape Material Handling. Hey,
in your
Dave.
neck of the woods.
All right. Go ahead, Jim.
Pape Hit Material. Yeah, best one of our new sponsors here, Coach, like that. One of the best. A whole family of people, a great business, and I'm real thankful for them being a sponsor this year.
Pape loves to get behind football, and those of us who root for a certain team that wears green and yellow down south are aware of that, and they're just a great operation.
There's that play inside.
Yeah. Bellevue runs the lead. Looked like Chris Brooks here got the tackle. Jack Crandall down there on the bottom of the pile there. So
kind of scraping himself off a little bit. Probably got run over by a couple of guys.
I would imagine the Wolves are more than content to let Bellevue run up the middle here and just keep that clock ticking. It becomes a great 12th defender.
Nice shot on
that's just
offense. Chris Brooks shot right there. Stop that.
The whole defensive line right there, Coach. I think that we reestablished the line of scrimmage in the Bellevue backfield, and that just blew that play up. It really never had a chance to get going.
Never got anywhere out there.
It looked like Abinov got a nice push there. Chris got a nice push there. So nice job for the line right there, and Bellevue doing themselves a favor, trying to extend the game here. They need it.
Nice job. I think they stopped him short for sure.
Bellevue runs the dive to their main guy, number 23, but it doesn't really go anyplace. And now they're going to be facing a 4th down and 3. They're trying to hurry up and go up tempo here, but perhaps to their own demise. We'll see if the Wolves can get a stop right now. And now their clock operators just stopping the ball at every single play.
Yeah, this
so
is again a Bellevue tactic. There's nothing more than that. I can't be inside handoff. Nice job.
And the Bellevue running back, number 23, gets stacked up in the backfield. It sure looks to me like he was stopped well short of the 30, and that should be his clock stop because guess what? That's a turnover on downs.
That's right.
Wolves stop them.
Yep.
They needed 10. They got 9. And the Wolves offense right back out on the field with a short field there.
Jack
Bellevue
right through the middle with a hand on it. Oh, and a great job. Who was that right there? I can't see that. Who came up? That was a good job on our side. That could have been Charlie. Well, that was a great defensive series. Bellevue tried to hurry that up and didn't really make much out of it, but we definitely sniffed out most of the time at 23 and that counter came through.
Getting a little more speed at the linebacker by moving Chris down on the nose, and Chris has been nothing but disruptive once he's in there. So you get those 2 tackles that are just a total contrast in style. Jack, big, strong, you cannot move him. And then you got Abinov, quick, lean. He can get really skinny and kind of slither between those gaps, right? So just a whole handful for the Wolverines front, and they just have not had an answer consistently. So Eastlake comes out here in a 20 personnel. They got both running backs out there now. Connor behind center. They're a little bit bunched up. Heavy to the left side of the formation. They're going to fake that. They bring Connor. Yep, they bring that GT counter once again. Yep. Chris came around, got an in. Charlie gets upfield. Connor pays it off, and the Wolves have a first down.
That pull came right into play. Watch Christopher come down the line.
Yeah, gets a great kick, and Charlie stays
out, finds
behind
his man.
Yeah, Charlie gets a little bit caught up in the muck there, but it didn't matter because we got the good kick-out block. And
we've had big plays every time we run that. That's
Yeah.
just been just a solid play for us every time we have that kick block go through.
Run the clock, please. We're at this point, if we stick it in the end zone, I'd have to think they'll stop with this. But
well, we are just having just fun with the clock tonight.
all right, Connor meanders his way back out to the huddle here. Again, Eastlake not in any hurry. They're in the red zone.
Having the command of the line here, just, like to keep a see that kind of, get our guards in play like that.
Yeah. Like to see Eastlake just go ahead and lean on these guys, convert one more score just to say they did. And here comes the inside handoff.
Oh, Hunkins
quick penetration once again, and
that left side line broke down there. I think that was over Matthew.
So the Eastlake Wolves lose a couple on that. I don't think they're too concerned about it. Under 6 minutes to go now, fourth quarter,
Yeah,
and
Matthew lost his man.
And Eastlake can get another first down without scoring. They've got the ball. They can get the ball down to about the 5-6 yard line, Jim. And if they do that, then Bellevue's going to have to start thinking about using timeouts.
Yeah, that or
to lengthen the game out.
Yeah, to get the ball up in the air, and that's not really their strength. Yeah, I'd like to see Matthew on. He comes off that snap, especially when he's got a quick, get a nose like that, or a guy's going to get a step or two on him. Get in there and get a lightning block on him. That's better.
Little swing pass out to the flat. That's
Nico
Frantella once again.
Little pinball action. I like it.
Didn't get the great blocking out there, but got a little bit of help from Abanov on the corner there, and so Nico does the rest himself. Gets it down to the Wolverine 13-yard line, far hash, and that gets Eastlake to third and very manageable here. We'll call it 3rd and 7.
Yeah, Nico put a football play in there. He got his head of field.
3rd and 8. We'll say. I don't know. I can't tell down there. What the heck? They're not putting it on the scoreboard. They're having a hard enough time with the on-off switch with the clock.
Looks at that by that spot. Ball looks like it's.
So the Wolves pick up the pace now. They don't want the officials yelling at them about 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, but
1, 2, 3.
Trips out to the right, and here's where we could see that little counter play, Jim. Now they don't motion him out on the swing pass, but Connor's just going to tuck and go, and that might not have been the best idea right there. He had a receiver wide open in the corner of the end zone, and all he would have needed to do is throw a little lazy fly ball.
I watched Jack pull here, Coach. He comes out, pulls out to the right, which is fine. Takes the end with him right there. But Connor kind of we lost Matthew. We lost again that number 58. That's where we lost again. That kid in the middle. We got to have an answer for him.
Timeout.
Bellevue.
So Bellevue stopped the clock. That's their first. And they're out. Oh, excuse me. I lost track of that. My mistake. So Bellevue can't stop the clock anymore. It's Eastlake that still has their timeouts intact. Forgive me. And 4:11 here, fourth quarter.
Well, while we do that, have a break. While we think about one of our sponsors, we're in the final minutes of our fourth quarter here.
Yeah, we're going to run out of daylight.
Oh, and Bradley Appliance, one of our great new sponsors here. Bradley Appliances, Wolf, Sub-Zero, and Co. One of your neighborhood's appliance and superstore service.
Well, it wouldn't be a week of C-Team football, Jim, if I didn't give a shout-out to Cheryl Hill and just say, hey, please, Cheryl, say hi to our boy Riley Rue at home for us. But Cheryl Hill, Compass Real Estate, helping Sammamish neighbors find their place to call home. Thank you, Cheryl Hill, for your sponsorship of Eastlake football.
Over many, many years.
Yeah. Here come the Wolves huddled up on the sideline. They're going to go ahead and
4th down.
Bring it back into play here. Yeah, this is, for the Wolves, this is no man's land, right? They're too close to punt, too far they feel like for kicking a field goal. So it's kind of this is boom or bust time for the Wolves. 4th and 10 here. Connor behind center, empty backfield, trips to the left. He looks back. He's going to go up top. He's trying to get to his tall guy, but cannot connect. It was a good look.
That's number 2. I don't know who that is.
I don't either, and I apologize for that. And we do not have a copy of the roster in the booth tonight.
Yeah, that's
caught us off guard
in the zone, but good defensive play there. He got his hands in front of it.
Yeah,
I'd like to see him kind of made it cut across, but
a little bit more of a jump ball maybe there. Tried to take advantage of the height differential on that corner, but the Wolves are okay. They'll put their defense back out on the field. The Wolverines have 85 yards to go. Just to get the first of 2 scores, they're going to need to get back in this, Jim, and we'll see if they can. We'll see if they can move the ball this drive. Eastlake's defensive adjustments in the second half have really stymied their attack. So.
Yeah, especially having that Christopher Jack and Mach up there. It's just definitely made a difference.
Yeah,
23 is still a loose cannon. There he is again. Number 10's on the open.
Well, Bellevue completes a pass, and you know what? Pigs can fly. So Bellevue completes a deep ball. That's a 25-yard gain for them all the way out to their own 40-yard line. So they're in business now and feeling good about themselves. Clock will wind once the official moves it in about 10 more seconds. He's wound it.
Yeah, no time
there they
for
go.
Bellevue, so they're going to have to... Yeah, that's not going anywhere.
Once again, they've got
just nowhere to go with that.
The Wolves have the blitz on with the linebacker. George shoots the gap. Jack is there, and just not going anywhere right there. And I'll tell you what, it's
that Hunkins comes through there, just totally throws them.
The fact that Bellevue's having to commit 2 blockers to Chris on the nose, it's making life a lot nicer for Abinov and Jack, right?
Yeah, they can just now they have almost free roam.
Yeah, there's some space to operate now. So the Wolverines have it in the middle of the field. It'll be 2nd and 13. And here they come with the lead play once again. And
nice moment.
Number 23 picks up
Nico
about
came back in.
4 or 5 yards.
There's a flag coming there.
And we got late action there. Charlie and number 56 got tied up. 56, a good ball player for the Bellevue Wolverines. And him and Charlie Jensen with some extracurriculars, and I'll guarantee you, Charlie didn't start it, but he's going to be the guy who gets flagged because it's always the second guy
in the fight. Well, I'll tell you what, though, that Nico came into that tackle there. He came back in at the ball, went past him, and got back to the ball carrier and put his helmet in.
Yeah, that was a
pretty good stick.
Pretty good price to pay for a 5-yard gain for Bellevue. And I will tell you this, whatever the outcome of this game is, that number 23, he's a good running back, but he is going to be feeling this for a couple of days. The Wolves have definitely gotten several really, really violent, hard hits on him. Legal hits, right? Nothing dirty, but that's just the job. When you're a tailback and you're running between the tackles a lot, you're going to get pounded on.
Yeah. And honestly, that referee on the sideline has just made bad call after bad call. Yeah. So not to be unexpected by him.
They always get the second guy. We've both been around this game long enough to know. And now they got to talk about something else. Where are we going to go for dinner after the game? Pine Lake Ale House? Well, let's clear out in Sammamish. Well, it's worth the drive, though. Yeah, let's get out there.
From what we've heard, it's a good place to go.
It's nice and early. We can make it. We can make it, guys. Right down the 520. Take the 202. Takes the alleyway. You're going to be right there. So the Wolverines over the ball. Wolves are over the ball.
Every coaches have inspired the referee again to do something, so I saw him respond to it. All right, here we go, 3 minutes.
Well, the Wolves just playing for pride now. I'd like to see them keep the Wolverines out of the end zone just to be able to say we shut you out on your own field.
George, right there to cut that down.
Who's on the bottom of that pile? Oh, it looks like, did the Wolves recover a fumble right there?
Well, there's a bad spot. You see that spot come off of there? 2 yards up in the front.
We'll just go ahead and lean it forward. 2nd and 10, though. Wolves get a no gain on the play.
Christopher Brookshire made that whole play happen right there by just listening to that gap. Coming down that backside again. There it is.
Yeah, and they're just going to keep running lead and hope they can pop one. But yeah, the Wolves right now are standing up. They're answering the bell, and honestly, if I'm the Wolves defenders, I'm laying on top of that guy until the officials move me.
Make his block through here, coach, and then watch that. Yeah, there's George come through. Look at that.
Yeah.
He actually put his head down and ducked like he was running through a tunnel.
Yeah. This is the point in the game, too, where guys are getting tired and it's about pad level, right? Yeah. So if you can stay beneath the guy across you and keep your leverage, then you're going to win the battle, plain and simple.
Going in a pistol formation here.
So Bellevue spreads out. They got a bunch of trips out there on the right side. The Wolves need to react to that. They need to walk a linebacker out.
That's a fault. They got to call timeout. Yeah. I don't think they ever lined up right there.
Coach Ed Kinney wisely using a timeout there, and that's Rom Rishi over there playing backer, and we've talked about Rom this season. He's a heck of an athlete. He's going to be a tremendous football player in time, but still very inexperienced, right? And so to see that and not recognize, they've got numbers out there.
Yeah.
If you don't at least walk part way out and split the difference between the tackle and that bunch trips, they've got a huge advantage, right?
Yeah, that was a good call out for Coach. Yeah. Caught that. There was definitely they were mismanaged or mismanned out there.
Yeah. So that's where the guys on the back end, right? Guys that are veterans, Connor, Jack Crandall, George Hunkins, the guys that have played a lot of football, they have to point that out to Rom and get him to walk out to that. Recognize what they're trying to do to you. Recognize where they have leverage and an advantage. and just help him take that away simply by walking out 3-4 yards. He doesn't have to go all the way out to the formation, but right here, Rom ought to be probably playing out closer to the hash mark.
This is a receiver screen. You can almost see this is what Bellevue runs all the time.
So they run a wheel up the sideline. He's getting chased. He's getting chased
Good
by...
news, the referee didn't do any way to get out of there.
Bellevue's receiver has to play defensive back there, but I think Eastlake caught that ball. That is a catch. That's an interception.
That's it. Well done to Eastlake. And I tell you what, though, that pressure that came on the backside like that was an excellent job. It made him throw that ball up in the air.
Yeah.
And who picked that off?
That basically just ends up being a punt. I think that was Nico Frantella.
Yeah.
Was that Nico?
Oh, yeah,
yeah, that's Nico.
Well done, Nico. Well done.
Yeah. He's basically fielding a punt back there.
Well, a lot of pressure in there. That's exactly what we want to see. Well done by our defense. Well, our defense coach in that second half, it's just turned it around by putting Chris Brooksharp in front. We just had everything we could do to close those lanes.
Just totally changed the complexion of Bellevue's attack, and they had to try to adjust to it and just didn't really have the time to do it. And yeah, that's just a difference in body types, right? So they had Steele out there a little bit, Matthew out there a little bit over the nose in the first half. You put Chris in there, you lose a little size. You don't really lose anything in terms of strength. He's a strong dude and quicker, right? Just quicker and active.
Just faster the hole, through the gaps there.
Yeah, so commanding the double teams, you saw what it did for the two tackles. Macha and Jack Ort really benefit, and the Wolves as a defense just really clamped it down. So now with 1:37 left, this is basically their version of victory formation. They're going to knee it out.
That's all we do.
And we can talk about sponsors from now until the end if we want to. Minute 36
Minute 36
left.
is sponsor talk.
And yeah, we're just going to sit here and let Connor take his knee, and we're going to kind of pay attention to that. Wolves are going to win this one 14-0 and improve to 4-3 on the season. So since we're talking,
a good 4-3 for sure, right?
Yeah, very strong. And here's the best part, Jim. Next week, home cooking to finish out the season, right?
Yeah. And
they get home cooking, and they get a chance to book into the season against the team they started with, lost by 2 points up at Bothell. So the Wolves will be motivated, playing for revenge next week, and we'll see if they can end the season with a winning record at 5-3, or if Bothell can come in and take another one from them, and they'll end the season no worse though than 500. And that's a tremendous job for the players and coaches.
Yeah, way to done too. The defensive way to shut out Bellevue like that. That's the right way to do this.
All right, so we're going to go ahead and give a quick word to one of our sponsors here, LBM Travel. Thank you for your support, LBM Travel. Let Leanne be your expert guide to travel and savings. Holidays are right around the corner, Jim.
That's right. We're traveling home with Leanne tonight for sure. And I think the Ale House will be a good one on the last 30 seconds here, Coach. Pine Lake Ale House again. Tasty beverages, great food, wonderful atmosphere. Good way to come home from a victory tonight.
All right, folks. Well, that's going to do it from up here in the booth. Want to say thank you to Sean Crandall, our
executive producer, one of the best.
There's nobody better. And believe me when I tell you, folks, there are a lot of cords to put away after this. You have no idea the effort. This is like an FBI surveillance van and then some. It's like you'd see in the movies. A lot
Good
of
to
cords.
see the Wolves go out there and take that victory, and we'll look forward to next week for sure, Coach.
Wolves shutting out Bellevue on their home field. You got to love that, Jim.
We do love that.
And,
well done, Wolves.
14-0 Eastlake over Bellevue. Wolves improved to 4-3 on the season. For Jim Ort, the president, this is Josh Brooks here signing off. Go Wolves. Have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday.
See you guys next week.